Vernon.
What's up? What's happening, my man?
You went Martin Lawrence on me real quick.
Hey,
You
man.
said, what's
hey,
up?
Man. What's up? What's happening? Yeah, no. I'm trying to workshop some things. I'm trying to figure something out.
You trying to throw things to the wall, see what'll stick?
Yeah, I'm gonna see what sticks here. What's going on? What's happening, y'all? It's your boy, Vernon Somoza, here with my man, my best friend, my guy, Frank Champion, right here, right here.
Yes, sir. Hey,
what's going on, big homie?
So if you've been watching the podcast from episode 1, which is cool because we're going to do a year in review today.
Sure.
You've probably seen me wear this hoodie like, I don't know. This hoodie's turning gray the amount of times I've wore it. So underneath, I'm only have this hoodie on for a short time because under this hoodie is a shirt that is guaranteed to pop you.
Okay.
And when I show you the shirt, I need you to explain what you see for the audio listener.
Fair enough.
Okay, you ready? Can you give me a countdown, like a 3,
all right,
2,
fair
1?
enough.
And then you can explain what I'm doing.
All right, there we go. There we go.
Right.
I got you. I'm doing this podcast.
Let me get some space. Let me get some space here. Okay, here we go.
All right.
I'm blurry. Come on, come back.
Focus.
I said come back.
Focus.
Here we go.
Hey, yo. Give me
no doubt.
3, 2, 1 more for the good guys.
All right, here we go.
So Frank is pulling off his hoodie over his head. It's come.
I don't know if I want to show you just yet.
Up and over. He's teasing me for some reason. He's teasing.
Should I tease it?
Yeah, he's actually just said that.
Is that weird? I can't hear you right now. Hold on.
Wow, this is so weird.
Is that weird if I tease it?
No. Go ahead. So, because we both said, I said he's teasing it, and you were like, I'm teasing it. I was like, whoa.
Can you even? Oh. Let's see if you remember this one.
Pro wrestling is real. Wow.
He hails from Rockland County, New York. Mr.
Oh my God.
Champion.
And there it is. So he is wearing a Mr. Anderson TNA wrestling t-shirt. Pro wrestling is real.
You remember what it says on the back?
People are fake, right?
People are fake. People are fake. There goes my voice. Listen, let me ask you a question about this shirt.
What's up?
Who's the man that got me this shirt?
Oh, that was the Don West brown bag deal. Let's go.
I forgot that. You almost forgot.
No.
You got me the Don West.
Yes.
Don West insane brown bag deal as a gag gift for R.I.P. to Don West. So I don't think we ever mentioned his.
No, we did. We mentioned.
Okay,
we just didn't do like a bit on it. But yo, rest in peace. Shout out to Don West. I forgot I bought it out of the sheer desire. I was like, what comes with the brown? Just to get one. That's what it was. The bag, the DVDs.
I got the DVDs were great. I don't know where they are right now. You got me like a Bound for Glory, a Best of Raven. I think I got a couple other pay-per-views, but this was all like 07, 06 TNA when it was tolerable.
Yeah.
Not TNH, not Hogan, not Hogan.
The greatest era of TNH. It is the greatest era of TNH. Of wrestling. TNA, excuse me.
You say TNH, that's what it is, brother. Now we don't call him Hogan. His name is Terry. Okay, it's Terry now.
All right.
We don't call him Hogan no more. So I wanted to wear this one because I wanted to pop you because I'm all caught up now with TNH.
Well done. So am I.
Man, I can't wait to see what the next journey is after 10-10-10. Hardy's heel.
Seriously.
And sheesh, I started changing the channel after
that. What a weird buildup. Like after everything I've heard and learned about TNA, for it to end at Hardy turning heel
in 9 months, they went AJ, put it on Rob Van Dam. Rob, we don't have any more dates for you. Take the belt off. Let's turn Hardy heel. What? And what are we doing?
And again, Perk Angle, the greatest Kurt, doing Jason it all for no
Jason
reason.
Statham angle with the beard connected to the receding hairline
for no reason.
I love it. Okay, all right. So let's talk turkey, brother.
Let's talk turkey, brother. What's going on?
So I said we said we were going to do this last episode after the Observing the Observer episode.
Brother, what?
We were going to do a year in review. What, brother?
What?
I just want to talk turkey with you, dude.
No doubt.
No. So we're going to do a year in review today.
Excuse
me. And you, my friend, decided that, hey, man, if we're going to do this, we got to bring in a special guest.
Absolutely.
Got to bring in a different mind, a different eye, a different mouth, different mouthpiece.
So
because they've been hearing us for a whole year. We had Shay on a couple episodes ago. We had the big boss man about 8 episodes ago. So now we need the voice of a
boss man. Shout out to the TSPN.
That's right. I don't think we ever did that. Go ahead. You do that part. Go ahead.
Yes. What's up? This is, by the way, the name of the show is the Pay Window Podcast.
Oh, it is? I forget that we didn't even introduce ourselves 5 minutes in. Go ahead. Keep going.
Shout out to the sponsor. What's the name of the sponsor, Franny? Tell them the name of the big sponsor.
The sponsor? You
sponsor?
mean
what am I talking about? Jesus.
You talking about the network? The Sandbox Podcast Network, TSPN.
Bro, I said the sponsor. I wanted to give the big
I wish we had sponsors, man. We getting paid.
Let's run that back. Franny, give them the name of the network.
The Sandbox Podcast Network, TSPN. Shout out to the big bro.
Shout out to the big
boss man. Yes, sir.
Big ups to you. And so here on our show, y'all know when it comes to old school wrestling, that's my thing. In our dynamic, in our friendship, it's always been old school wrestling, indie, all that, right? Because I felt my lapsed wrestling moment was 2001 when Mick Foley, when Cactus Jack lost to Triple H
in the Rumble.
That was kind of at the Rumble. That was kind of when I just, and the Hell in a Cell. No, in the career match, the Hell in a Cell.
Oh, the Hell in a Cell.
That was kind of what
change again.
I remember that was like the last time I went to my parents' house, and I was like, you know what? I don't think this is worth. Yeah, I was like, I'm all set. I'm good with this. So I stopped driving back to my parents all the time to watch wrestling, and I had no TV at school.
Yep, I remember.
And that's when I started building my wrestling collection. Yeah. So that was when I started getting headfirst into Japanese everything.
That's when you became a last fan. Yeah, because you're the one who put me on Poruzu, however you say
it. That's when I got all obsessed with wrestling in terms of everything else, because WWE just bored me at that point, etc. So
you were a lapsed fan.
Yes. And I met a friend, the homie Ian, who was like the polar opposite of me, who this dude just had everything modern and lots of old school stuff, but everything modern. The homie just had it at hand. And I was like, yo. So one day I figured, we'll tell the story when he gets on. So
okay, so let's throw him on. Let's
bring him on, man. Let him introduce himself.
Shout out to Ian. He's right here.
Ian. What's going on,
Welcome
brother?
to the show, brother.
Wow. Let me tell you, pro wrestling is real. People are fake. I popped when I saw that.
Yeah. Yes.
Then I remembered his first match, and the second one, and the third one, and I immediately got upset. So,
hey, I'm sorry
for wearing that shirt. I mean, wow, what a pleasure to be a part of this. Vernon, I'm sorry you made a mistake. Mick Foley's last match was in February of 2000, not 2000.
Oh, was it 2000? Oh, excuse me, the 2000. That was it for me. Buddy. That was it. Yeah. And that's when I checked out of WWE.
Yeah.
And I checked into everything in Japan.
Well, I mean, Vernon gave a small little synopsis about our relationship.
Go ahead and take it away. Please.
Yeah, man, take it away, ple's. That's what it was. I was like, let me not.
Let Ian explain it. It'll be better. Yeah,
I've been a fan since 1996. My first match I saw was WrestleMania 7, Hogan and Slaughter.
Wow.
One of the greatest WrestleMania matches.
Wow. Watched it on tape, watched it over and over and over again. I mean, I was a diehard WWF fan from 96 up until 2023. Strong, dedicated to the craft. I mean, Vernon makes a very good point. I'm someone who knows old school 80s wrestling, 70s wrestling, but more so my gear is 2000, 2023. You name it, I can probably tell you about it. I know you guys just finished watching Bound for Glory 10-10-10, but I'm sorry, the best era of TNA was Hogan's time. I'm sorry. We went from 6 sides to 4 sides, back to real wrestling, brother.
All right, well, that's the end of the episode, y'all. Y'all have a great night.
That was a joke.
TNH is literally the most insane thing to hear about. That every time the heavyweight title changes hands or gets put into someone's hands, whose music needs to hit, make the save, brother, and has to come out. It was insane because, like, you never notice it till someone points it out. Like, yo, watch every time
Hogan
makes the run in.
Terry makes the
run in.
It's awful. Anyway. He's the draw. He was the draw. Yeah,
he was the draw. Makes it even worse.
Yeah.
So you were a kid when TNA was in its heyday.
I was what, 13, 14 when they first started in 2002, right? So like, I watched TNA 2002 up until when I got really pissed off at TNA, probably 2012.
So did you believe that TNA was going to have a Monday Night Wars? Were you part of that fan base that believed they were going to like?
I'm sorry. Now,
okay, hold on. Before you go, where were you on January 4th? Where were you that day? What were you doing? Because I can tell you exactly what me and Vern were living together at the time, so I can tell you exactly what we did.
January 4th, in my house, in my living room.
Yep.
I was watching Raw. I'm sorry. I was watching TNA first. I was curious to see what the open was going to be, and then I saw the shout outs to AAA, the Terror Dome, the Red Cage. I saw that. I'm like, well, this is a problem. And then I started watching it. I'm like, I can't watch it. I can't understand what's going on.
Because they didn't understand what was going on as wrestlers.
I went immediately to Raw. And I'm like, once your opener was a red cage. Well, I was like 6 or 8. You know, you would buy the blue cage. You buy the small little ring, and you would set it up. It brought back those days. I'm like, oh, I'm 6. I'm like, oh no, I'm not 6. So I immediately stopped watching it. And when that happened, I'm like, you've lost. Ric Flair debuted, don't care. Jeff Hardy type of cage, don't care. Val Venis, don't care. Literally don't care.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. On that card, I believe was the following week. I think AJ Styles and Kurt Angle had a great match, but it's on TNA.
Did they wrestle the week after? I think so. Yeah,
the week after, and great match, but like it's on TNA. So sorry.
Right.
And then they went Monday Night Wars, and they went back to. I'm sorry. I'm skipping over parts because I forgot Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry. We call him Terry. Hogan came back with my man Abyss. Shout out to Abyss. Shout to Abyss. And face off against my man Ric Flair and AJ Styles. In which I remember. Let me tell you,
when they came back to Monday for the war.
They came back on Monday, I think March 8th or something. And Hogan bled
when Abyss had the ring.
Yes.
Oh my
Forget
God.
about Hall of Fame. Abyss is a hybrid of Mankind and Kane. Why not?
And Hulk Hogan.
And Hulk Hogan.
You forgot and Hulk Hogan.
With
across decades.
Across
decades.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts to even think that actually happened.
It did.
So I'll tell you where me and Vern were. Me and Vern were living in the same house at this time. Vern had a nice big screen. Vern had a nice big screen TV. On that big screen TV was Monday Night Raw because we were waiting to see Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels finally reconcile their differences. Yep. Squash the beef. On a teeny tiny little laptop on his coffee table, his work laptop, he brought it out from his office, put it on his coffee table. We had, let's just say, we had TNA on there. I'm not going to tell you how we had TNA on there, but we had TNA on there. Okay? Because, of course, we acquired it through legal ways. So we had TNA on there. All right? And we would not change anything. We didn't have to change a thing because if we wanted to see what was going on Raw, we were looking up here. If we want to see what's happening on TNA, we looked down here. We saw Jeff Hardy on top of the cage. We were like, oh, okay, Jeff Hardy debuted.
Facts. Somebody's hungry. Somebody needed to check.
Flair, and I'm like, oh, okay, Flair's here.
Somebody needed to check.
And then Val Venis, and we were like, what's going on? Why Val Venis out of all these people? Yeah. And then when we listen to TNH, and we find out it's because he did the Australia tour with Terry, is the only reason why he got the job at TNA. It was like, oh, and he defeated Christopher Daniels. First match.
Why not?
The guy who's been a staple of TNA.
And those horrible backstage vignettes where he was playing strip poker.
Oh, Jesus.
Even better. In the towel.
Yeah. It's just
why not?
Like literally
and when he said, I can't say that thing from the other company, when he acknowledges the other company mid-promo, and it's like...
Because he wasn't even Val Venis, he was Sean Morley.
He was Sean Morley. His actual
he said, I can't say that thing. Like, what? Oh. Why bring it up then?
Oh, awful.
Because I know why. Let me ask that question. Because when you think about what they did, Hogan's a genius. Like Russo's a genius. Yes. Why? Because they were. I'm joking. I'm joking again. Don't keep me off the podcast, please.
The button was close.
Okay, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Because think about it, people like nostalgia. Shawn Morley is nostalgia, right? Oh. So give me Shawn Morley, give me Flair, give me Hardy, give me them.
Now,
but you give me them in a form in which I don't really want.
You don't want.
That's the thing. I don't want that version.
I will say that besides Flair, because I remember that was around the time, Vern, I had moved to Rhode Island in like 2010, 2011. You remember late 2010, I moved to Rhode Island.
Yep.
And I would go to training on Thursdays and I'd come home and I'd put on TNA and I'd fall asleep to TNA. Okay. So at that point, anytime Ric Flair was on, you can see it, even on my Facebook memories, because that's the time where you were just posting anything on social media because you couldn't do memes or videos, so you had to do text. I said, hey, everybody quiet. God is on. Whenever he'd call himself, now you're talking to God. Every time. I loved it. Every time he was on, I was like, okay, Flair's on. I'm going to listen to a Flair promo because he was off the hinge, off the leash. Say whatever you want. And it was I'll say that was the best thing about Ric Flair in that era. That was it. But him,
you didn't enjoy Flair and you didn't enjoy Flair's wrestling. You didn't enjoy. I'm sorry. I correct me. You all did see Flair and Mick Foley in the Last Man Standing match.
Yes, I saw Flair. I saw Flair take some weapon to the head and go.
Yeah,
Flair draw his name in cursive.
Great moment. Let me tell you. Going face person to tax. Why not?
Oh yes, rolling over, tax in his cheek. Yeah, he's hardcore.
Yeah, Flair's a psycho. Flair at the end, Flair's a psycho. Like regardless what he says, and that's what I can't stand. And he's like, when he starts saying like, I was nervous about my body. I didn't have confidence I once used to have. And I'm like, did you watch your TNA run? What were you talking about? You didn't have the confidence in yourself. What? I'm like, when you had all that hot dog skin getting pierced with daggone thumbtacks in that last match, when you were daggone razor blading every other day, like you didn't stop and think like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Like that you weren't past it then.
Payday, brother.
You need a payday.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't stand that last Flair thing where he talked about
he almost died. You're talking about?
No, the last Flair Peacock special they did.
Oh, I didn't watch that yet.
Okay.
I watched it.
But he talks about like being all like, oh, it was kind of nerve wracking, and I was nervous because he said he was nervous when he worked whenever the heck he was doing not Fortune. What's the other WWE one? The stable.
Wow.
Evolution.
Thank you.
Yeah. I never saw him before, so don't make that face. I've never seen it before. I don't care about Evolution. Know. Doesn't matter to me.
That's literally problematic. But okay, go ahead.
Again, if I want to see 4 good wrestlers, I know where to look. It won't be Evolution. Trust me, pal.
Okay.
Trust me, pal.
Wow.
Just saying. There's nothing. Every time people talk about the Attitude Era, and my anger towards the Attitude Era now as a 38-year-old, because everyone has to just Attitude Era. Yay! It was all great.
I'm watching that back, and it's
not good.
It's
nostalgia.
I'm in 1998. I'm in 1998 post WrestleMania. We're going to Unforgiven for the first ever Inferno match. Now that's intriguing watching that but I'll tell you the build for it. They're each coming out and they're just bumping other guys, and then they're calling each other out. So there really isn't a build conflict-wise between them. Stone Cold is now our champion. DX is now the DX that ran for years. Val Venus is debuting. And I'll tell you, I watched this with my 6-year-old daughter. And when I hear a Val Venus promo, I'll tell you, the first Val Venus vignette that came on, you just hear, I didn't know what was going on. I was on my phone. I wasn't really paying attention. And then I heard moaning, and I looked up. I was like, what? And then it pans. My 6-year-old's watching it. It pans, and he's in the bed like this with the towel. Man, I'm good. And I was like, where's the remote? Where's the remote? Where's the remote? And I couldn't find it. And my kid's watching. I'm looking at her and looking at him I'm like, she goes, ew, he's gross, Daddy. I was like, you don't like him? She's like, no. I was like, good. We're not gonna watch him anymore. And every time he pops up, I just skip it now because it's like, when I was 98, when I was 14, I was like, oh man, Val Venus, this is cool. Nowadays, I'm a grown man. I'm like, why did I like this to begin with?
Because we were all 14. Even Vince Russo, when he was booking it, was 14.
Wow.
He hasn't progressed.
And Daddy McMahon had to make sure he said yes or no.
White cotton panties. Like, again, think back to everything, every derogatory thing every female ever called each other, every cat fight we witnessed, every terrible. But it was we were all 14-year-old boys, all of us together collectively.
He was definitely writing for us. He definitely was.
He spoke to us literally, and that's how we enjoyed it. But that's what I'm saying. Looking back, it's like,
oh, it's cringe.
So,
did you ever watch Kai and Tai stuff back?
They just started happening. They're called they're called Club Kamikaze right now.
Club Kamikaze. Yeah.
I was like, what? I don't remember this name. Club Kamikaze.
But at first, when they first came out, Club Kamikaze, they were like, okay, this is something that might be serious, okay. But then they became hokey. They got that whole story about Venus, and then the whole thing about choppy, yo pee out. And after that, I'm like,
Mio-san, whatever her name, the girl that was involved,
the sister or whatever,
that had the
daughter.
Suggestive name.
No,
it was a wife. It was a wife. Yes, the sister was Ryan Shamrock. I forgot about that.
That's a
again,
whole different thing.
Vince Russo, 14-year-old Vince Russo was speaking to us at that age, but looking back, and Ruthless Aggression era, I could say the Ruthless Aggression era was insane.
I didn't watch.
We talked about it a few weeks ago, but the crap I saw is insane.
And there's more content. Let me tell you. Now I know you have the knowledge behind that, but Ruthless Aggression era, 2002, late 2003. Once Benoit won the Rumble and stuff, it was like, but there was some like good content. 2003 SmackDown, Raw, not so much. But
SmackDown was like the workhorse show, right?
All the good show
were on there. Yeah,
Heyman was booking it. Heyman was booking SmackDown.
Why are you making that face, Vern? Why are you making that face? Why are you making that face?
Are you?
You saw that Lesnar match. You saw that match.
Yes, but it just the words you use is what irks me.
The workhorse,
the workhorse matches.
Work rate.
It's the work rate matches.
Well, no, we didn't say work. Well, he just said work rate, but I said workhorses. Right. You can have workhorses. Yes.
Okay, I know it work, but what does work rate? What does that have to do with anything?
This is your argument from before.
Here we go.
Let's hear it.
I connect work rate to entertaining me while I'm watching a match. For example, let's talk now. This afternoon I was watching WrestleMania 13. Random thing. I was watching Austin Hart.
Austin Bret Hart. Yep.
Austin Bret Hart.
You didn't watch the main event?
I did.
No, not Diesel.
No,
that's
Sid and Taker.
Sid and Taker.
Taker, yeah.
And I love me some Sid. I love me some Psycho Sid. Don't get
me wrong. Would you say that's the worst main event in WrestleMania history?
No.
What's the worst main event?
I got a list. Reigns and Taker from Orlando.
Really? You'd put that over Taker? Taker.
They struggled in that match, if I remember correctly. Taker was struggling, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you not think the consistent the worst matches is Taker and Reigns, Taker and Sid,
Taker and Giant Gonzalez.
No, we're talking about worst main events. Or
I know main events,
but
I just thought that one.
I'm just saying, but like Taker had a few stinkers, man. Taker's a couple of stinkers under his belt.
So Triple H and Jericho, 02, Triple H and Orton, 09.
Is that where he busted his leg in 09?
Never seen it, so I don't know.
Triple H? No, that was later on.
No, that was later on. Remember, 02
yeah, when they had the LED boards.
Yeah, 02 when they went on after Rock and Hogan. 09 when they went on after Taker and Michaels.
Oh, wait, I did. Okay, wait, actually, I do remember that. You said that was Taker Michaels. Okay. So I did watch
Cena and Miz from 2011.
Whoa.
What?
Don't do it.
What was that? What? Why? What was the Miz slander?
Whoa. On this podcast, the Miz is one of the greatest heels in
heel?
WWE. All right?
As a
in
sport,
this day and age.
According to your work rate term, he's not a work rate guy? You just said, is he entertaining?
He's entertaining, yes. But
Miz doesn't even have to wrestle at this point.
Wait, he doesn't. But I mean, entertaining, but also in the ring, I'm intrigued. I'm curious. I like what's happening.
In-ring action he's talking about.
In-ring action I'm talking about. That's work rate. You can ice all you want to. Because you say that Cena, and it's something that Vernon lacks, is that he knows Cena, that's the one that everyone loves. Does not know Cena from 2002 up to 2009. Doesn't know that one at all. Doesn't know that. No. Yeah.
Before that one?
Doesn't know this. Word life. Don't know that part.
I've seen the highlights. The highlights look fine to me. The highlights are fine.
Nope. That's your problem.
I saw that scene live.
I don't understand the hatred for John Cena.
Cena kept going over when he had no business going over. He beat everyone. He was like the modern day Hogan.
When I came back, Cena was beating everyone, and that was a way. Cena was beating everybody. I do remember that.
What was wrong with Hogan?
Oh, come on. We know what's wrong with Terry.
What? Oh, we know what's wrong with Terry now. What was wrong with Hogan then?
But okay, let's step back. Hogan back in the 90s and in the 80s, that was the thing. Heel beats on babyface. Okay, big comeback, 3 punches, boot. Okay, that was in the 80s and in the 90s. We're in 2000, 2001. I'm sorry, 2003,
it literally,
4,
you know
5.
what though? It literally still worked. It literally, it
did.
When Hogan hobbled himself through his TNA garbage,
that was. We're talking about Cena now.
Cena
beat
sorry,
Michaels. He beat Orton. He beat Triple H.
He beat Orton several times.
He beat several times.
Several times.
Over and over. And like when it comes to wrestling,
I
do not.
Again, why didn't he deserve it if he was Hogan? He carried the company on his back. That's what you do.
No, but I get that. But you have to become better.
Oh, so you're mad at MJ. You're mad at MJ for being MJ. Oh, you're right. You're right. No, you're mad at LeBron for being LeBron. MJ, you're right. No, you're right. It's right. You're right.
Here's your problem.
I get it. I get it.
MJ had skills and grew in his skills. It took Cena a decade to grow in his skills. A decade. You can't say anything. You haven't seen his matches.
Again, the fact that the guy made it all the way through. How often did he get hurt?
20 years.
20 years in a 20-year career. How many times did he get hurt? How many times did he get hurt?
A handful of times.
His pack,
man.
You know that?
I tell you what, that he must have worked his butt off 20 years. How could you deny 20 years? 20
I'm not denying 20 years.
How's Kenny Omega doing?
Oh,
how's he doing?
Kenny Omega now.
How's his career? How long's his
career?
Wait.
Let's not go down that rabbit
I'm pretty
hole.
sure he's a banana peel away from his career being over. So I'm just saying.
Might be.
Tonight, he caught a flip tonight where he was holding his shoulder. I was like, oh, let that be the one. 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 Because again, how do you have this conversation? The fact that John Cena went.
You don't like?
Yeah. Boom.
No,
like you're like this. You're like this
because you're the guy. You're the guy that voted for Kenny Omega round 1. You're the guy who voted for round 1 Hall of Fame.
Wow,
you voted round 1 Hall of Fame because I know you did. Because I know you did.
All right, I think we're getting off
the Hall of Fame.
I think we're getting off the rails. I think we're getting off the rails now. Vern, can I reel you back?
Can I
reel you back?
Exactly. All right, just that's all we have to refocus on. He didn't vote for Slaughter. Anyway, let's go ahead.
Why you Slaughter now?
Okay, hold on, guys. See, this is why. Now, this is the exact reason why I said I'm playing moderator today, fellas. Because this is great.
He's not being literal. You're being one-sided.
How am I being one-sided?
Are
you going to talk about him and Don Kuno? You're going to really say that when he was doing the tag
popcorn.
team wrestling in the Carolinas, it wasn't happening? You're going to deny Slaughter? You're going to say Slaughter doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
I'm still on Cena.
Listen to you.
I am literally still on Cena.
Listen to you.
You haven't seen the match that you had veterans.
Oh, you're talking about Cena. I'm talking about Sergeant Slaughter. The fact that you didn't vote for Sergeant Slaughter going to the Hall of Fame disgusts me. Your opinion is invalid.
Cena beat Angle a bunch of times too. I mean, you have to watch the content. You're going.
So I'm sorry. So the big baby face of the territory went over. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrestling booking. You're right. Wrestling booking. You've been wrong. You should never have the baby face win. Always have the.
That's not what I'm saying. Even when Edge won in 06, Cena won the title back in 2 weeks.
He did.
Are you saying?
I remember saying that.
What's wrong with
that ladder match? Right.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Because
you're trying to build a new star. You're trying to build a new star, but 2 weeks later,
who carried the company on his back?
How do you build stars when they end up losing to Cena?
How do you build stars when they end up losing to Ric Flair? How?
Hold on a second now.
How?
Different era.
That's a different era, bro. That's territory days. You can't do that.
Thank you.
All right, reel it back. We're going to reel it back. Okay.
I know we got to get to something.
We're 30 minutes in, and we got to get the show started, y'all. But I love the dynamic.
I know. I just can't send invalid opinions from people who wouldn't vote for Sergeant Slaughter in the rest of the
Stop. Wait. See what you did there?
Go back.
See what you did there?
I didn't do anything.
No. You did this. You did a heel thing. You said, "Hey, ref, I'm good. And then you snuck him. And then you snuck. You went, "Damn, I got you." Yeah. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I got your back on this one, Ian. I got your back on that one. All right, we don't have a lot of topics today. We got a year in review. We want to talk about that. I do want to talk about 2 things. One thing that caught my eye during WWE television and an accolade for Miss Bianca Belair. So let's start with Bianca because that's the easy one we can get out of the way. I just want to give her flowers. Bianca Belair becomes the longest reigning Black champion in WWE history.
Period. Male, female, longest reigning woman.
Let's give her a round of applause. Champion. I'm gonna read this from WrestlingInc.com. This is from a man named Dominic D'Angelo.
Yeah, you subscribe there too?
Do you have to subscribe? There is a newsletter. Jeez.
I do not subscribe.
Good. I'm glad. Don't subscribe to any of these sites. All right. So Bianca Belair has made history as the EST is now the longest reigning Black champion of all time in WWE. Belair has held the Raw Women's Championship for 346 days. Raw star MVP previously held the record as he was the United States champion for 340. That shirt's fire. For 343 days in 2007 to 2008. And that's when I started watching pro wrestling again, when MVP was coming out with the bubble lettering and all.
Oh yeah, and popping out.
And he'd come out, he'd do the ballin'. I was like, okay, MVP. Okay, so then she took to Twitter to acknowledge the accomplishment.
Just the manager. Actually, I'm lying. I have his best stuff from Japan, so I can't say that. I did buy it, support him when he was in Japan.
So somebody posted it for her. Somebody looks like it's a fan page. It says EST of WWE. It's official. 344 days. She's become the longest reigning Black champion. Congrats, Queen. Big shout out to @305 MVP for representing. I probably should pop that up on here. Let me do that. Boom.
Do that, big homie.
Where are we? Bam. Boom. I'll pop that up on the screen. Boom. There it is. Just a tweet real quick. So she put, yes, shout out to the 305 MVP. I'm so honored. So, man, what are y'all thoughts about Bianca Belair? We'll start with Ian. Bianca Belair being the longest reigning Black WWE champion ever.
Well, firstly, well deserved. I mean, from when she started NXT, I mean, I think that is booking done correctly because Bianca, she has all the tools. Literally, that whole EST thing, like, she has it promo-wise. Work, I know. Sorry, Vernon. Work rate. Oof. I know. But she has it.
Oof.
She has that charisma. And think about Montez Ford in that same category. Give him some time. But she definitely deserves it. And, like, I'm glad. And the great thing about Bianca is when she lost to Becky at SummerSlam, that booking that I think Vernon would say, oh, good booking. Not. But her actually winning the title back and rehabbing, don't do it. Don't do it.
How do you get there? How do you get there? How do you get there?
Can he finish? Hold on, Vernon. Let him finish his point.
Thank you. Victim, I'm a guest. My goodness.
He's a guest. Let's treat him like a good guest. He's a good guest.
Where's your manners? Jeez. Goodness. As I was saying, if I was rudely interrupted. She rehabbed that, won the Raw title back. I mean, she's been banging it out. Like, she's someone who, like, she's definitely. And you think about all the other Black champions stuff. You think about The Rock. You think about MVP, Shelton Benjamin. You name them. Like, she literally has. She's earned it, and I'm very glad for it because she's a star, bona fide star, and she's someone who I know a never argument. I'm trying to be in my best behavior because I know that Vernon loves him some Mercedes Moné, some Sasha Banks. He loves her, but she eclipsed Sasha Banks. That's why Sasha left WWE, in my opinion. Because Bianca has all those. Bianca can go to Hollywood now. She's there. She has those skills. So Bianca, kudos to you. Flowers definitely given to you in that case. Definitely.
What's your thoughts, Vern? What's your thoughts?
Shout out to the Queen. Give her all her flowers. I said it from the first time I saw her. I said that woman's a star. That's a star. Like Rhea Ripley, star.
Yes.
They walk in the room. They have that Vince quality. They walk in the room.
That airport deal. Yeah. Who's that?
Who's that? You ask who's that, or you sit there staring at them because you're like, I get somebody. I don't know who you are.
Enamored. You look important. Right.
Nope, you got that look about you. They got that. They got that something that separates them from just everybody else. That those are the girls. Excuse me. Those are the women that they gonna carry this thing on their back. Now, Sasha. I mean, I
mean money.
For me, Miss Monet, Miss Money was never in my. I'm sorry, I was just not a fan.
So we rated the Four Horsewomen a while ago, and I think you had to put Sasha at 2. You didn't want to really.
No,
which I think he put Sasha at 2. Me and him had the same exact list. Charlotte, Sasha, Becky,
Bailey last.
What? And my argument was the other 3 main evented WrestleMania.
What? That's it?
Main event. That's yes, absolutely. That's
how would you rank that? How would you rank it?
How would you rank your 4 horsewomen?
How would you rank them?
Are we talking about the career top?
Rank them. Rank them.
Wonderful. Rank them.
Charlotte definitely at the top. I would do Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Bailey.
So you just criticized us for putting Bailey at 4, and yet you put her back at 4. Thanks.
Wait.
Thanks, fan.
I'm talking about Sasha being 2. I'm talking about Sasha being 2. That's my argument.
Again, this is the AEW fan in the room, folks.
The AEW fan. Now you see he's
my bad. Go ahead.
Slander.
Go ahead.
Another thumb to the eye.
Again.
Wow.
Another thumb to the eye.
Wouldn't vote for Sergeant Slaughter going to the Wrestling Observer News Hall of Fame. Remember that. Wouldn't vote for Sergeant Slaughter.
So I'm just gonna say shout out to Bianca.
Yes,
we come from a day and age. We come from a day and age because we're all grown men. We come from a day and age where black wrestlers really never were featured in anything.
Nope.
For Ron Simmons, WCW champion, that happened. Please give me the year. Help me out.
92.
Thank you.
What was the city?
Yeah, The Rock.
I can't remember.
Baltimore. Come on, man.
Baltimore. One more Power Slam.
Wow.
Power Slam Vader. Come on.
Jesus.
Power Slam Vader. And the little kid runs up to the gate. When it jumps to 3, he jumps. The homie powers up, kicks his legs up, does a split, and he goes, and he jumps up. I promise you, go back. You can't miss it. The little
I gotta
kid,
go back. We gotta get that footage.
Jumps up when Ron Simmons gets a 3 count. It's the most amazing thing to watch. Anyway, go ahead.
No, so I believe Bianca's. Now people have been hypercritical of this run of Bianca because sometimes people feel that she hasn't had the right opponents. It's over. Now it's out. What is it? It's what's the word I'm looking for here? Asuka's her next opponent now at Mania. But I mean, throughout this whole entire reign, she won it at Mania. She won it at.
Can I ask you a question? Why was it a big deal that she won it at Mania? Why is it a big deal?
Because it's Mania.
But why was it a big deal? Who she beat at Mania?
Becky.
Oh, Harry, it was a couple.
No.
Here we go.
Excuse me. You've had your moment. So she beat. Who was it again? You just said
Becky Lynch.
She beat Becky Lynch. Why was it a big deal that she beat Becky Lynch in that long, grueling match? Why was it a big deal?
It was a full circle moment.
Why was it a big deal that she beat her in that big long
Because
match?
she lost in like certain amount of seconds.
13
on the return in SummerSlam, right?
And everyone was disgusted, right? You were disgusted. You were just like,
was it
what
wrong?
the heck?
Was it wrong?
Why? Why? Because it made that victory
even
literally
sweeter.
Was oh my God.
Yeah, no, I'm with Vernon.
Can I
I would love to hear Ian's take on this.
Can I respond, please, without being attacked by Vernon Somoza? Can I respond back? Thank you.
Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead, brother.
Now I get it. What happened at SummerSlam? I mean, I get long-term booking. Now, the point that I want to make is the thing about the challenges that Bianca has had since then. September, if Bianca wasn't Bianca, come from September or August up until Mania, she would have been just like Carmella, just like anyone else. If Bianca didn't have the charisma that she has, she would have made that match at Mania. Because if it was any other person, it wouldn't have worked out. And I know you love Vince to death, but Vince has proven he can't book women. Charlotte is the only exception. Literally, the only exception. Literally. So Bianca if it wasn't Bianca, it was name me any other women's wrestler on the roster besides Rhea Ripley or Bianca that could have done what Bianca did with Becky.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The story was Bianca's story. What does it matter? That's like saying the Macho Man Elizabeth. Oh, name me 2 other people that could have done that. It doesn't matter. There weren't 2 other people. Those are the 2 people that did it. It's why it worked.
It was Bianca overcame Vince's bad booking.
I can't take
that. No. Every bad. Why? Let me ask you a question. Why did Vince McMahon become the new Vince Russo? Everything is blame fire Russo. Let's fire Russo.
Fire McMahon now.
Now it's fire McMahon.
No,
what is it? Just explain to me. Internet wrestling community. What is wrong with that? Why have you guys decided to hate him?
Before Vince left, Vince was out of touch with the product.
Vince McMahon defines what you enjoy for professional wrestling today.
Vince McMahon. I will say he defined.
Vince McMahon's booking. His booking.
Let me ask you a question. Come on, because I can tell from back in a couple years ago that Vince was someone who was booking Raw and it was only maybe 20 minutes of wrestling across 2 hours. Is that also good booking? Pro wrestling? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Somoza? That a 3-hour show of Raw.
Did you stop watching? Did you stop watching?
Yes. If I want to watch wrestling,
did you say to me? Did you when we began our conversation tonight? Did you not say I've been a faithful fan from 97 to 2023?
But you can
never stopped. Yay!
But
did you not say that?
Frustrated. I did.
What did I say? What did I say? I said, "Oh, I was lapsed. I just quit, and I just quit and went somewhere else." I didn't sit there and say I suffered through. There's a difference. You never left. You never left. It wasn't that bad because it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Oh, thank goodness. Pro wrestling should be wrestling, right? You're look, Vernon. You're someone who has Saturday nights. You have all these classic.
Franny, this guy right here, he liked 90s AWA. That's what we're dealing with. Somebody who watched 90s AWA.
Wait a minute.
Tag team, he's all into that.
Wait a minute. I love 90s AWA.
Oh, God, here's
ESPN Classic. I loved it. What's wrong with
Larry Zbyszko? What are you talking about, James?
Big Scott Hall on his way. Oh, that was 80s. That was 80s AWA.
80s.
I love 80s AWA.
Okay, 90s, I didn't like 90s.
I was like 90s AWA.
I apologize.
This guy loves 90s AWA. That's the thing.
You're pointing at me, by the way.
That's the booking. That's the booking. That's the booking that you that you got in your mind. Is that because again, Vern Gagne booking that never changed. Vince's booking
never changed.
Vince McMahon is the Ray Kroc of wrestling. The way Ray Kroc defined what fast food is, they defined what fast food is. The same way Pizza Hut and Domino's defined what takeout and pizza is. They defined it for you. It doesn't matter what you had back home. They defined it for you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, please.
So based on your logic, were you finding Roman Reigns' booking from 2014 to 2019? Were you finding that? Do you think that was good booking?
I only special cash Roman.
I only discovered.
Yeah, you like that.
I discovered Roman Reigns. Friend, when did I start watching weekly TV wrestling again? Like only a few years ago. I discovered all these guys.
Pandemic wrestling.
I discovered all these guys post when you're going to complain your smart tears about. Listen,
that's the problem. You have limited knowledge on what Vince did. You remember Vince on the good times. You remember the good Vince. Do you remember the time that Ian quit watching?
He didn't. Wow. What I'm hearing.
Wow.
That's the point.
But you have not seen what I have seen. You stopped.
So you still watched it.
I'm a fan.
That's a wrestling fan because I watched this TNA. I watch AEW, and you know how I feel about AEW.
But there's still something about it you can appreciate, yes or no?
Like the Acclaimed, sure.
So don't give me that Vince's booking, because overall it was still passable and still good enough that it kept you there.
You're doing overall. That's not.
No,
fair.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Roman, you come back. The main event didn't sell you. You're telling me when Roman was main eventing, Cena's main eventing, you weren't tuning in to watch those main events.
Hoping that Cena lost more than likely.
You weren't tuning in to watch the main events?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. Then Vince's booking worked. Vince, because he kept all the smarks angry and you kept you coming back. Thanks. Throw my point up like ESPN. Throw my point up. That was at least 30 points under my name. I need 30 points under my name for that. I literally just shut it down. I need 30 points under my name because that right there. Because that just proved my point. You just proved my point.
You have a skewed knowledge of
there it is.
You remember you are based on 19. You based on WrestleMania 1, Vince. This is you. He did WrestleMania 1. He great WrestleMania. I love Vince. Roman Reigns, Vince, when people 2015 Royal Rumble, when he won, when he had no business winning. And it went on to Mania. And
he was Vince's guy. Why didn't he win?
Oh, that's okay, because he was Vince's guy. That's all right. Forget what the fans want. Forget what the fans want, Vernon. The fans don't matter.
Okay. So hold on.
Perfect transition. Thank you so much. Perfect transition. Franny, please. Can we get your year review, please? Because that's a perfect transition. Please.
Let's
you know that is. I'm begging you. Thank you so much for saying that, Ian. Shout out to you for being a real fan. Shout out to you.
All right. So what I'm going to do, we're 44 minutes into this.
Oh, my God.
We were going to talk. Otis and the models. That's gonna have to wait till next week because we got to get to this year in review.
Please, we have to go because he just gave us the perfect transition. What he just said. What the fans want.
What the fans want.
It's what the fans want. Give them what the fans
didn't
want.
Roman Reigns at that time. What are you talking about?
Giving what the fans want, in my opinion, is the problem with AEW. I'm gonna say that now.
Well, wait a minute. Let's step back because it's not about what the fans want.
Huh?
It's about what Chris Jericho wants. It's about what the Bucks want.
Yes, thank you, Dave. And for $12.99, you two can share this opinion. For $12.99, folks.
Okay, now hold on.
You two can share that opinion. For $12.99, you two can share that opinion.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on. I've been watching AEW since we started this podcast. So I'm going to tell you my AEW history before we jump into this year in review.
Thank you.
And we got to go because we're almost an hour in now.
And me, who's watched it from the beginning, every single episode.
You watched every episode.
One.
So when they said AEW was coming out, that was what, 2019? Am I correct?
19. Mm-hmm.
I was on board, on the bandwagon. I said, good, we got another promotion.
He was ready.
More spots for guys.
Yep.
More spots for guys is all I really cared about, right? Mm-hmm. I said, they can't mess this up. The Young Bucks, I love the Bucks. I was on the Kenny Omega bandwagon then after his hot run in Japan, all that stuff. Oh, Jericho's going. Okay, good deal. Good deal. This is good stuff. Then TV started. I said, man, they just need to stay on pay-per-view. Remember this conversation, Vern? Because our boy Shay Dreamer, he was like, man, they got to get a TV deal. And I said, you know what? I don't think we can do TV. I think we need to stay on pay-per-view, kind of like TNA did for a while before you jump into television. Then all of a sudden they're on TNT. And then I watched the first 6 weeks of television. And I was on the bandwagon with my man Vern. I said, I can't do this AEW stuff. First 6 weeks had me checked out. I just started watching. We started this podcast, Vern. Our first episode was February 2022, February 24th. So we recorded, I believe, earlier. That's when I started watching AEW again. I said, well, if I'm going to do a podcast on wrestling and its current events, gotta watch as much as you can. So I started watching AEW again. And my Lord, what I've watched in this past year, you are super bright, by the way.
Sorry. Yeah.
You probably got a screen on, but what I've watched in the past year has been sheer and utter nonsense. It's a lot of illogical stuff, a lot of things that start and stop. Things that happen on the TV show that have no resolution weeks later. Like I'll always mention, who is it that got their mask pulled off when Andrade and Rush them lost? Who got their mask pulled off?
Oh,
it was Dragon Lee, right?
Yeah, or was it his cousin? Was the other one? Not
was
Dragon
Lee. Dralistico?
Yeah.
They pulled his mask off. Dralistico
for no reason whatsoever.
Dralistico just worked Ring of Honor, if I'm not mistaken, with Rush.
Didn't they pull it off on the Ring of Honor? They pulled it off on that Ring of Honor pay-per-view, didn't they?
I think it was a trios match against, if I'm not mistaken, it was against the Elite. I can't remember now. It was like the Elite.
It was the main event of Dynamite. Yeah, the main event of Dynamite where Andrade at the end of
it. Yes, definitely main event of Dynamite.
Yeah.
And
Andrade threw it off and was just like dancing afterwards immediately.
While the baby faces, or whatever you want to call them in AEW, because there's no heels or faces in AEW.
No.
We call them
celebrating.
Okay.
They were
technicals. Thanks.
They were celebrating. All of a sudden, a mask gets pulled off. The last thing you see go off the air, and you never hear from it again. Now all of a sudden it's working Ring of Honor. Just like, because that's great booking. Tony Khan. I brought all this up to say Tony Khan books for the fans. He wants to make the fans happy every night. And that's a problem. And you saw it tonight. I'm just going to bring up tonight when in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where in classic TK booking, wherever you are is hometown, that guy goes over. You had two guys from there and that had their own set of teams. Nobody went over. The heels win, and the crowd goes mild. They did not say a word because they were mad because you groomed them, Tony, to believe, oh, they're in our hometown. We're going to see our hometown guy win. And when it doesn't happen, here we are. So that's my thing. But I don't know if you guys have anything to piggyback off.
Oh, let me tell you, because that goes back to Vince. When Vince has people in hometowns, usually it's the exact opposite.
It's a loss.
Yeah, Vernon, isn't it usually a loss in the hometowns all the time? But I know you. Good booking. Neither here nor there. Let me focus on my take of AEW. I watched it from day one. I mean, the pandemic era and all of that. Well, like what happened with me is the fact that it started to not. No, I started to see that it didn't make any sense.
And
it started
say more about that. What do you mean you started to see? What do you mean by that?
Wow.
Just could you share more about that?
I would like to speak and not be cut off. Thanks.
Allow him to elaborate, sir. Allow him to elaborate.
Now, the point that you made about here's my thing with TK. And it comes to him booking for the fans. You're right, because but let me explain. Because TK signed everybody when Vince let go of all those people in 2020. Whatever. He signed
the releases.
Miro. He signed everybody, and you're booking one person 1 week. And anybody, the long story booking, he doesn't do that. You have Miro 1 week, then Andre another week, then you have Elite this week. And it's like never consistent. And I'm like, what am I expecting this week? And I'm like, I like to have some form of consistency in my wrestling.
You need a thread.
I want a thread. And then what makes it worse is Excalibur. At first, listen to Vernon's face.
Wow.
Excalibur. Now, let me explain.
I'm listening. I love to hear this.
When he first was commentating, I'm like, okay. I'm comparing Excalibur to Byron Saxton. I hate Byron Saxton. Vernon, don't even make those faces. Byron Saxton is a terrible commentator.
I was talking about you comparing Excalibur to him. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
But after a while, all Excalibur did was scream and yell. And it's like, and then Jim Ross was like pretty much senile, and it didn't make any sense. And then watching them, and then we came to the Young Bucks, them going over and over and over and over again. And then how they booked FTR, then CM Punk, and then MJF, and then Sting. I love me some Sting, but then come on, guys, Sting. And it became nostalgia, but I don't think it's booking for the fans. I think it's booking for the wrestlers. I want to be the show like TK. Okay, you're booked. That's how I see it. I'm not going to main. Yeah, you're the main. Yeah. He wants to appease them. He wants to appease the fans.
I've never heard this take. Take before. He's booking for the boys.
Think about it. You're telling me now look at that face. Why do you think Cody left? Cody had to move on eventually.
Great. Hold on. So let's start there. Because our very first episode that we did, we're going to do our year in review. So our year started in February 2022. I'm glad you went there with the Cody left, because literally that is the first thing we talked about. We talked in depth. I think we went like 4 hours, Vern. It was crazy. That was the days, because we didn't know what we were doing.
Correct.
We wanted to talk about everything and anything. And one of the main things was, I think our episode was called Cody to the WWE. I believe that was the name of it. So our biggest thing that episode was Cody leaving AEW, and the rumors were starting that he was going to go to the WWE. I will tell you, I'm not gonna do every single episode one by one. I will tell you, 2 episodes later, it was when Scott Hall passed away. Cody had signed with the Fed in that 2-week interval that we have. So from February 24th to March 23rd, which was a month, we went from Cody leaving to Cody signing, and then we had Cody Mania. We also, in that time frame, we had Keith Lee and Jay White debut for AEW, which was even more signings from AEW, bringing Keith Lee. And Keith Lee, we'll talk about that in a second. We also got to talk about Control Your Narrative. Remember that?
Oh, no.
We talked about Control Your Narrative. So now you were talking about, yes, we because we were intrigued. We didn't know what was coming, and then we saw it, and we were all set.
We watched wrestling.
Yeah. So then also in the next episode, we talked about Jeff Hardy getting signed to AEW. Okay. We also talked about Tony Khan acquiring Ring of Honor. We started talking about how much steam GCW was picking up. Control Your Narrative debuted, and Matt Cardona at the time, before he got injured, was the belt collector on the Indies. So all of this was happening in the beginning of 2022. Well, I'm going to stop here on this 3rd episode, and I want y'all to, if anything you want me to repeat, you can reflect on. Big E got injured. This was about a year ago now that it happened. Big E was injured. Scott Hall passed away. Cody officially signed with the Fed. And then we started talking about Jeff Hardy in AEW. I think he had made his debut. So we'll start with you, Vern, because we started Ian last time. We'll start with you, Vern. Let's talk about Cody first. So Ian said, let's talk about Cody. So what was your thoughts once you heard Cody left AEW? What was your thoughts on that?
You asked me, why did Cody leave AEW? Yes. Right? Because Cody wanted to be a star. He was done playing wrestler. It was time to actually be a wrestler, right? He was done because his dreams of being an executive never panned out, right? Cody wanted to be an executive, yes or no? We all can agree to that, right?
Yes.
He wanted to be an executive.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a boss.
Yes.
And he realized that he was working for somebody who that's never going to happen.
Yep.
It's Tony's ball. The day he decides to go home, it's done. So Cody stopped playing with kids and went to join a real promotion and go work at a place that had structure. Work at a place where the adults tell you, no, you don't go slicey on camera. No, you don't book the guy. You don't book the guy with no legs in the battle royal. No, you don't book the guy who's the next viral TikTok sensation because it'll get you a couple more clicks. Right?
That did all happen at the N21, didn't it?
You don't bring Shaq on to take a table bump just for the sake of taking a table bump.
And then get up and run off stage. Yeah. Oof,
you don't get little Bow Wow to do spots with your girls, get it all on TMZ.
And never pick up
for nothing. Oh my God, that happened. And that was this year.
Yes, it did. Yes, it was.
You don't bring in Jeff Hardy to your promotion knowing that Jeff should have been there.
Yeah, there's a reason why Jeff got released.
And
there's a reason.
The way we all saw it was going to end.
Yeah.
So Cody left because Cody was the only one that was smart enough to see that the ship is sinking. Someone needs to jump off. Because Cody left and made himself a buttload of money and made himself a star. Yes or no?
No comment.
The man's a star. I like I said before, I'm happy Cody left. When Cody originally left, I used to clown Cody any chance I got.
Oh, you couldn't stand AEW Cody.
I couldn't stand AEW Cody. The smugness, the I'm doing my best to convince you I'm in the big leagues because Cody couldn't do it on his own. He needs that guidance. And now that he has it, hey man, like Roman Reigns being champ for years and years and years, being booked like a nonstop monster, Vince got it right.
Oh yeah, Vince got it right. That's how we end. That's how we ended. Vince got it right. Yep.
Vince got it right. Any thoughts, Ian?
We have so much more to cover. I love that Cody left. I think that, and the thing about it is that Cody
and he left. Why?
Well, I think he left because at that point there was nothing left for him to do. Think about it, when he lost to Jericho at whatever pay-per-view it was, and he could never challenge for the AEW World Title.
Done.
Like that booking,
he handicapped himself.
That was the problem.
And then he said, "Oh,
whose fault? Whose fault?"
I go with him.
Because there was no one there to control him.
There was no guys, but I get that. But
Cody
also,
needs to be in the system.
That goes back to my point. TK books for the boys because he allowed Cody to put himself in that situation.
Nope. I think TK. It was before TK turned his notebook to the other way. So no.
Oh God! I imagine you really just brought that up on. Oh God!
That's what he said.
So I think that Cody leaving, best decision he made. We came back at Mania, bona fide star. It was one of the best turns I've seen in many years. But him coming back, and the thing about a full circle moment would be him winning at Mania. But doesn't think that he should. Because that's so I left.
I don't disagree with you that it'd be a full circle moment.
Yeah, I left the playground. Now I'm at the big leagues, and not only am I at the big leagues, the same that handicapped me in a different company. Now I'm the star of this company.
Right.
I just
think the basement. Think what they're gonna say after.
Why do you say they? Why do you say they like that? Why do you say they like you just would give up your residency? That's what it is. You just come up the stairs and think that's it.
Are you saying he's not a member of the basement?
Once again, a former member of the basement. So I got back my logic.
You're out of the basement. Did you lock the door and you threw away the key? Did you burn the basement down?
I burned the basement down because I've seen things that defy logic. But as I said, they will say, "Oh, Cody should never left AEW because now he can even beat Roman." It shuts everyone up.
Someone said something the other day, right? And I think I texted it to you, right? That the current AEW fan is the Cena sucks fan. It's just the older Cena sucks fan. The fan who got his jollies off of chanting Cena sucks when people were chanting "Let's go Cena." That's the AEW fan of today who they just want to be anything anti-Vince.
So in that just to piggyback off that,
please.
I don't know.
I was at Monday Night Raw in Boston.
Talk about it.
And there wasn't a single Cena sucks chant at all.
They love him now. They love him now.
I don't think
they always loved him.
I don't think those guys are there.
Cheers.
In his defense, I don't think those guys are there anymore.
Because they're all at AEW. They know that they don't go to that anymore.
Now, don't get me wrong. There were AEW. I was in the club section. There are AEW fans in that same section as mine. But they're not as vocal.
They were going there to hate watch. They paid a ticket to hate watch. They paid a ticket to go, oh, this isn't as good as Dynamite is.
Right. So, I mean.
They'll pay the ticket.
But there was some else that you mentioned.
In that scene in Ghostbusters.
I want to get something out of the way very, very quickly. Matt Cardona.
Sure. Okay, let's talk about Matt.
Now,
please.
Now,
belt collector at this point.
Belt collector, and also let's remember he also became the NWA World Heavyweight Champion by defeating the man who is better than Dick Murdoch, Trevor Murdoch, mind you. I'm sorry.
Oh my, the trolling is my lord. The trolling is at an all-time high. Oh my God.
So he beat Nick Gage. He had all these belts. And the thing about Matt Cardona is up to now, nobody cares. He's someone who.
But didn't people only care because Matt decided to capitalize on smart hate?
Yes.
That's all. He just capitalized on smart hate. That's it.
And I think we mentioned, I think I had mentioned it on the podcast around that time.
He monetized their hatred.
Matt Cardona is literally being Zack Ryder. He hasn't changed anything. If you watch a Matt Cardona match, it is TV matches. I mention it every time we mention Matt Cardona. He has not changed his game at all. But like you said, Vern, I could agree to that. He capitalized on the Smarks being pissed off at him because of who he was.
Come on, man. Coming out dressed Do-Rag Vince. When he came out dressed as Do-Rag Vince.
With the title. Good stuff. That's good stuff. Now you got to try to make me find it.
Because it's good stuff because you're all a bunch of wrestling nerds who you all went, whoa, look, he's dressed like. Well, the rest of the normal fans all went, why is he wearing a do-rag? What's this about? And then then some guy with a beard next to him went, actually, it's a callback to a time when Vince came out with a do-rag on with WWECW. It wasn't as good as the real thing, but it was for the lulls.
There he is.
Let's go.
There he is. That's tough. For the audio listener, got a side-by-side of do-rag Vince. I just PT even got the matching MMA gloves. Do-rag Matt Cardona.
The Tommy Dreamer gloves?
Yeah.
The Tommy Dreamer
MMA gloves. Fantastic. All right. Is there anything else? I'll bring it up again.
Keith Lee,
please.
Has anyone come in with that much hype and fallen from that much grace?
Keith Lee debut. We were all about it.
Keith Lee's what?
You weren't about it, really?
You weren't about Keith Lee, please.
No, because at that point, Keith Lee. Now, when Keith Lee left, that was the whole thing, the Bearcat thing, and Vince was trying to make him into something, but he was very adamant on being something else. I get it. Keith Lee in the singlet. Okay, well, and he didn't get. And it goes back to my point. Vince is someone, and this is me defending Vince. Vince will keep you in a box. He kept Russo in the box. He keeps people where they need to go. Keith Lee going to AEW, once again, he was released, and that whole list of people, he can say, oh, the fan, then go back and think, the fans like you. Sign him. Good. That part is true. Once Keith Lee got there, Keith, what do you want to do? Well, and look at Keith.
I will. Go ahead, Vernon.
And the thing about it is, Keith Lee should, and the point that I made the burn a few weeks ago, Keith Lee, at first, he debuted, and his first match was like, guess it's okay. The second match, okay.
He worked Cassidy, and the big Beal. That's what I remember.
What are you talking about? When Keith Lee did that Beal, and we were
all for it.
We were all for it. See,
yeah,
but my thing is, you all had that moment. Oh yeah, Keith Lee, long term, if booked correctly, yes. But come on, now
there's no such thing as long term. There's no such thing as long term.
Not AEW.
All AEW gives you 3 solid weeks. That's all I need is 3 solid weeks. AEW is like the fast food of wrestling. It's not meant to sit down and eat it. AEW is the fast food of wrestling.
it's a TV dinner wrestler.
Ooh,
that's Impact. Impact is a TV dinner wrestler.
No, Impact is school
TV.
lunch. Impact is school lunch, bro.
MLW is school lunch.
Oh, that's wrong.
MLW is welfare cheese and a daggone welfare cheese and an iron. Big up to Kaboom and Dr. Vitamin, yo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I mean, Keith Lee even
Captain
now
Vitamin.
is like Keith Lee, like he worked with Shane of Strickland. I mean, he should work with Shane Taylor, in my opinion. I mean, like it did. Like, go back to my point.
It didn't work. I did not like that tag team. But
it
once
make sense.
I think we were hyped. If I remember correctly, Vern, we was hyped for Keith Lee, but then they made Swerve in Our Glory, and we were all the way out as soon as we saw Swerve in Our Glory. And granted, we thought maybe it'll pop up here because we talked about the Acclaimed. I think we had one show called Scissor Me. Hopefully that'll pop up at some point. But excuse me, I got the burps coming. We liked the one match they had with the Acclaimed, the first one where you were like, this is the match that the Acclaimed should have won.
Mm-hmm.
And you said
when Tony got it wrong.
When Tony got it wrong. Yeah, you said Tony got it wrong. I remember you said that. And then the next match happened.
But Ian didn't think so. Ian said Tony did it right, but go ahead.
Well, it was hometown again, wasn't it? That's TK booking. They had West wait to give it to him in their hometown. So I don't know. I think the Keith Lee thing was a dud. Jay White was for naught because he just showed up. Then he showed up at Forbidden Door. Now he's a free agent, and Lord knows what's.
Hope he gets signed to the Fed. Hopefully he goes there.
Okay, let's ask this question, Ian, because I think we asked this question already. I asked Vern this. Jay White gets signed by the E. Is he NXT bound, or is he AJ Styles like, and he's on main roster?
I think he's main roster.
You think he's got enough clout to be like, I'm a main guy, I'm a main roster guy?
No. Here's the reason why. Because I think the main roster, if you debut on Raw or something, you have a chance of some person in the crowd knowing who you are.
Okay.
If you're at NXT in Florida, and that those are the WWE fans. Those are the people who only know those. I only watch this. Jay White has a chance.
You don't agree? You don't agree?
Of course you don't, because you're an idiot. I get it. When AJ Styles debuted at the Rumble, they knew AJ Styles. I used to say, for example, they knew him from Japan, from TNA. They knew him. Jay White, they'll know him. They'll know him if a fraction of the crowd knows him. That's enough. NXT is like, okay, you're here. Now what? You're wasting away.
So maybe I kind of get it, because this day and age of NXT ain't your daddy's NXT, because your daddy's NXT is AEW now. So okay, I can see that. Vern, you're quick on your thoughts, and then we'll move on. I think
real quick. Dragon Lee. How did Dragon Lee debut for? Where did he debut?
House show, NXT house show. I mean, he wrestled house show.
Where did he debut to the TV crowd?
NXT. That's
no. Can I ask you a question? Why didn't he just come out and wrestle? Why wasn't his debut a match?
Can I answer that question?
Sure.
Because in history, if we think about the Latin stars that your favorite promoter Vince booked, he's not very good at booking people like that, is he?
Okay.
Last time I checked.
Beyond that answer, the obvious answer is that people would have, if he debuted on the main roster, we all would have gone, who?
That
Dragon.
Can't tell you why? Can't tell you why? Because anyone else who has debuted on the main roster, like Sin Cara, remember him? That was not during your time period. I forgot.
I remember him.
You remember him?
Mystico.
He debuted. Mystico. Same thing. So why would you repeat those mistakes again? NXT makes sense.
Because NXT makes sense. Because you need to introduce him to a market of fans who don't know him.
But you're not listening.
Yes, you're making my point. You're going by the fact that 3 fans will go, "Woo, it's Jay White," and everyone else around him is going to jump in and start clapping.
It's a different day and age.
AJ Styles is an anomaly. He's an anomaly, not something you can point to. AJ Styles, you can't use him as an analogy in that instance, because AJ Styles doesn't work. Jay White's not AJ Styles. The fact that you said he could debut on the main roster, sir, I don't know the hopium that you have enjoyed, but sir, I can assure you, sir, it is not good for your health, because Jay White, in no world does Jay White debut and the crowd went mild at Impact when Jay White came out. Stop it.
Well, hold on. In that defense, there's like 20 people at Impact.
Impact crowd knew he was gonna be there, and they all went, woo!
But the thing, Jay White, like I said, he had First,
Jay White needs to go developmental. Send him down for 6 months. Send him down to 6 months to NXT, establish himself. I need a gimmick. I need a name.
Oh, get out!
I don't know who you are. Sorry.
Okay.
Move on.
Wow.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Man, you're so
okay. Let's move on. All right. So on the fourth episode of ours, it was in April. It started in April. So we'll start from April and we'll head to June. So we had FTR Briscoes Part 1. That was Supercard of Honor.
The first match.
Just their first straight up match. I believe.
First tag match.
The second one was 2 out of 3.
And the third one was the dog collar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Triple H retired from in-ring competition. We talked about that in depth. And then we talked about post-Mania. Maybe I can go to that episode and see exactly what the card was if we want to talk about that. Kushida had left the WWE. Hook had debuted. Wow. Hook debuted on Dynamite with Danhausen. That was in April. That was in April on 420. And
remember when you lost
Perez
your mind?
debuted.
Yep, and Ian bought the shirt. Go ahead, keep going.
You bought Hookhausen shirt? You do not own a Hookhausen shirt.
No, I do not. Your reference is him? Your reference is him?
I just asked. I've got to ask. He's my source. He's my
and Sean and don't forget what Sean Dean did. The big moment that every AEW fan told me he was changing the game.
Sean Dean defeated MJF. That was a big deal. Captain Sean Dean defeated MJF. Now, the last time I heard anything about Captain Sean Dean, some guy, I guess he booked
that beef on Twitter.
And they had a Twitter beef with some guy because he politely declined or disrespectfully.
To wrestle on Dark.
Yeah, to wrestle on Dark because he was taking a different booking elsewhere. But
because, that's neither here or there. Right, Ian, remember when you used to watch Dark and Dynamite faithfully? Unironically?
Yeah, you used to watch like YouTube. Do I got to check my source on that one?
Yes, that was confirmation. But once again, I go back to the compare. Firstly, I am a wrestling fan. I also watch NWA.
You watch NWA.
I literally hate NWA.
Like, so you hate watching NWA. I'm going to take Vern's.
No, I don't hate. No, NWA.
You don't hate watch.
Is Velvet Sky, Tim Storm, Joe Galley. They're all just they're terrible. And then the wrestling. What? Aaron Stevens. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time because I can go on and on about that.
All right, let's keep it pushing. We head into May.
Wait, and don't forget Roxanne Perez debuted that day.
Yeah,
too.
I said that. Roxanne Perez debuted.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez debuted.
If I'm reading your notes correctly, Vern, it's Ali and Asuka returning that 2-week period, right?
Yep, they both.
Ali was off. Ali was off TV. He was complaining about release me and all that stuff. And then that was the slew of releases that came as well for the E. I believe. Let me see if I can get back to that one. That is episode 5. I want to see. I'm glad I kept all these notes, to be honest. Because this helps us. Let's see here. Yep, episode 5. Let's see here. We were talking about Larry Sweeney that time. We were talking about how Brian Cage was average at best.
That's true.
Yeah, that was rough. Let's see. I think Veer also made a debut at that time. This is the beginning of our Judgment Day story. That was the post-Mania deal there. The Judgment Day story was just starting to begin. Rhea had turned on Liv Morgan. KO, Kevin Owens was doing the deal with Ezekiel. They want to speak with Zeke. That whole thing was just starting.
Lulls heels.
Lulls heels. He wasn't okay.
Lulls.
And then let's see here. So then we went to the 522 episode when Malcolm Bivens, Stokely Hathaway, decided to leave, and he explained it on his Twitter. This was big. Naomi and Sasha walking out mid-show, and the same day. It's not same day. The same frame. MJF, I believe, cuts the pipe bomb promo. Am I not mistaken? Is that what this walks out? Is
same week? Note? Yeah.
Same week that Naomi and Sasha, I think Naomi and Sasha walk out Monday. Wednesday, MJF calls Tony Khan an F and M word. We don't say M word in
the shoot promo.
The shoot promo.
He cuts the shoot promo. Yeah.
Right. Hey, long-term storytelling, brother. That did full gear is when we got our answer. So let's talk about that little frame there. We got FTR Briscoes, Triple H retiring, things happening post-Mania. So Cody made his debut. Guys leaving. Sean Dean beating MJF. Anything you guys want to touch on? Ian, you can start here. We got
Sean Dean being MJF. Once again, it goes back to why no one cares. Nobody cares.
It winded up being pointless. Just a win to be a win. It
a t-shirt. It was a t-shirt for him. A t-shirt and a feather in his cap, I guess. It was for him. Yeah, it was a thank you. It was a thank you for booking all the extras. I guess
there's not a Sean. What is this t-shirt? Because now you're gonna make me look.
Oh yeah, Sean Dean definitely has a t-shirt that says "I beat MJF."
What I think we should focus on is Naomi and Sasha Banks walking out, in which Sasha Banks pretty much sabotaged Naomi. And you can say what you can. She ruined her career. She literally ruined her career.
So do you think? Do you think she can't bounce back from that? She's done. There's no.
I think that if she could have bounced back, she would have been back already. Why is she not back yet?
Because I don't think anyone cares if Naomi's around. That's the part that pisses me off. Why are we all pretending Naomi was that big a part of the card?
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Before you guys continue, if you're listening on the audio, I just popped up a Sean Dean, I beat you and you know it t-shirt.
$29.99. That's a steal.
Who would pay 30? He said that's a steal.
It's a steal. What?
Who would pay $30 for that shirt? Oh my Lord.
What you should have said is who wouldn't pay $30 for that shirt?
Do you have it in your closet? Go grab it. No, you good? Okay, just checking. I was just checking.
Ian,
go ahead. Let's talk. Let's keep talking about Naomi.
Think about my point. The women's roster at that time. I mean, Naomi wasn't great. I mean, Naomi was passable. Naomi was
a staple character in the E at that point, and losing her, now you've got to build someone else you've been building for all this time. And
like Lacey Evans. Like Vernon loves Lacey Evans. I know you love that booking that Vince did Lacey Evans the entire time, don't you? You just love how he just started and stopped and started and stopped. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey man, Vince can only book it. You got to go out there and actually perform, right?
Get out of here! What? Guy never. Moving on. Naomi,
she's pregnant. She's pregnant by Ric Flair. She couldn't work, brother.
Even worse. Naomi screwed herself going with Sasha Banks, and what made it worse. The point that I want to make is that Naomi wasn't all that good, but she was there. You can be there. You can be one of the people there. But once
Natalia's still there. So
yeah, Natalia's still there. But you want to be bigger. Oh, I'm a big star. Well, Naomi, you're really not. And now you want to act like one and go with Sasha Banks, who also is not a big star like that she thinks she is. Well, because she's married to an Uso. She's family to Roman Reigns.
She's WWE. You're Samoan family. You're WWE family. To be honest.
So why is she not back? Because they don't need her anymore. She could have came back in so many scenarios.
So let me ask you this. Now you're piquing my interest here. WrestleMania happens. Okay. Let's say night one. Bianca Belair defeats Asuka. All of a sudden, lights go dark. I'm a amazing. And the glow comes on, and out comes Miss Naomi. You're not with it. Nobody cares. Raw after WrestleMania that happens. Still don't care.
Because Naomi will only be over if she's booked with the bloodline. That's the only way. She comes back as a heel.
I don't know how they would do that at this point.
But here's what I was thinking. If you go back to SummerSlam of last year, who Bianca beat? I think Carmella. I think at SummerSlam maybe.
SummerSlam? No, it was Becky again. If I'm not mistaken.
Becky. Oh, before that, Money in the Bank. Whoever paid she beat Carmella, whoever, right? Naomi could debut at that time when the debut as a heel, stay at the bloodline. I wouldn't book her to go against Bianca. I'll book her SmackDown title. I'll book her in that sense.
Sure.
Bianca.
I feel like SmackDown has no women right now at this point anyway.
Exactly. So, yeah. Ronda Rousey, someone else who Vernon must enjoy a lot. Moving on, but book her SmackDown women's title. There was no one there. Charlotte was gone at that time. They had nobody in place.
Very true.
Morgan. So
they put the belt on Liv.
Yeah, they put the belt on Liv. Have Naomi come in at that time, beat Liv, have her run the whole bloodline, all the titles, drops at Mania. I would have done it that way.
Do you have an issue with Liv Morgan?
Oh, don't do that.
No,
I do.
Don't do that.
I do.
Liv Morgan is who I compare Liv Morgan to. Liv Morgan is like no, I don't like Liv Morgan. She doesn't do it for me.
She plays wrestler. She's not a pro wrestler.
I've seen her work. I've seen her wrestle.
At this point, Liv Morgan fitting to be her star power is growing. At that little thing the other day with that little girl, her star power went to the next level.
Because there's no one else.
Okay. So Liv Morgan, okay, Vern, that's fine. So Liv Morgan to be the next Titus O'Neil. She could be a star and do all the spokesperson stuff.
Sure, why not?
Sure, whatever. Okay,
she could be the honky tonk man.
I don't want to see her in the ring anymore. I just don't want to see her in the ring anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
I want to see.
There's no one.
I don't know, man. I think she might be. I think she might be becoming the female Ricky Morton with the selling.
Okay, moving on. We are now talking about. Let's talk about the MJF walkout. Vern, you go. God, oh my lord.
The MJF walkout. So I gotta be honest. That whole situation with the MJF thing. Do you remember that? All the tweets I was sending you about, yo, look, this guy said he's on a plane. Yo, look, this guy said he has plane tickets. Yo,
so
look,
so this is around what pay-per-view is that? Double or Nothing?
Yep.
Before Double or Nothing, yeah.
This is before Double or Nothing.
Okay, this is before Double or Nothing. So then he winds up not
doing Double or Nothing.
He winds up well, he doesn't do the meet and greet, and people thought he's not showing up to work Wardlow.
He sold the meet and greet. Yes, he sold it well.
Right.
Really lived the gimmick, brother.
Right. He didn't show up. Then he winds up showing up for Double or Nothing.
The match.
And gets squashed. And sure. I think the way they built the storyline, it should have been a squash. Because Wardlow took all of this. Wardlow took a ton of heat. Okay. His heat was the story.
Sure.
Then his comeback was the match. If you want to break it down that way.
Sure. And then MJF ruined Wardlow.
He ruined him.
Yeah,
MJF ruined Wardlow. MJF did to Wardlow what Hogan did the freaking Flair. Actually, Hogan did the Warrior when he gave him the belt, and all he had to do was just mug for him. Except MJF did it by the next week, coming out, cutting a promo, and pissing all over Wardlow's win, and everyone forgetting Wardlow won the damn belt.
Yeah.
And now, where's Wardlow now?
Honestly, he should be on the unemployment line, hoping Vince is calling him.
To be honest, Wardlow should be one of the hottest baby faces for AEW right now.
Should be.
That was May. That was May of last year. We're talking. Yep. It is now March. He won the TNT title again for a week.
No, for 2 days.
2 days. I'm sorry, 2 days. You're right. Even shorter.
Just on this MJF thing, am I crazy, or has MJF not prostituted the shoot to the point where it doesn't matter anymore, and it doesn't matter anymore if it's real or fake because
the reason why is because when CM Punk did it in 2011, it was like a big deal because it's rare,
bomb. Right?
The pipe bomb. They're like, oh my goodness, it's once but once it's every week, it's like, okay, like you turn back the curtain again, you turn back again, again. Like after a while,
you're gonna give us your origin story again,
another story.
Again, another one when you were a young guy and some other thing happened to you, and then when all else fails, you'll just start getting really angry about being picked on as a kid and getting bullied, and somehow that translates to heel.
So my question to you is: should MJF go to the Fed then? Based on what he's doing now, should he go there?
Based on what he's doing now, I gotta be honest. I don't know what MJF sounds like when he's not allowed to do what he does now. I don't know what MJF sounds like under constraint. So I don't know.
Because
the Miz.
That's a hot one.
So did you ever see? Did you watch MJF when he was in? Was it MLW? Cornette always talks about.
Yeah, but he didn't talk much MLW.
They just wrestle in MLW, don't they? They do a lot of wrestling.
It was a 3-person group, right? It was a 3-person group. It was him, Hammerstone, and Richard
Hammerstone. Sign Hammerstone.
Wow, Richard Holiday. I remember when he first started, he was doing indie shows with me out here. Richard Holiday. He wore the striped trunks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Did he bill himself from New York or something like that? I'm trying to remember.
So you're saying MJF back then, he still played the same character?
Yeah, but he played with constraints.
That's what I'm saying. So, what was it? Was it tolerable? Was he still saying your mom and I'm going to sleep with your dad and all that stuff?
I think that he was like a meaner Miz. That's the only comparison that comes to mind.
So now AEW champion MJF is like Miz times a million. You would say
AEW MJF is like Triple H 2000. Like it's like someone who you're giving the title to. Okay, here's my comparison. When Triple H won the title in '99, right? He beat Foley the night after Unforgiven. Yep. I'm sorry, the night after SummerSlam. My apologies. And okay, you're the champion now, so go ahead, be a champion. And then like where you're trying to be champion, you're trying to figure yourself out as you go, and then
every other week you're doing retirement match angles, you're doing just every type of stipulation angle, and every other. Listen here, go ahead.
So take that, but then take Vince's booking away from it. That's MJF. Because Vince had Triple H through that process, and then Triple H lost
in that box you were talking about, right?
Yep. Remember, Triple H lost the Big Show at Survivor Series, but they lost the Big Show and that whole thing. Won it back in December because he was becoming a star. He was being molded into a star. MJF at no point has been molded into a star
because he is a star.
He's not a star. He is literally self-sabotaging himself. The more he talks, the worse he gets him. The Iron Man match. I know I'm going right to last Sunday, whatever.
No problem. We'll talk about
it. 60-minute Iron Man match. Okay, people rated 5 stars. I gave it 4.25.
I gave it. It wasn't in the Tokyo Dome, so I only gave it 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you look at that, but an MJF as a wrestler, I mean, I guess like he's passable. He's an okay wrestler. But like when it comes off of MJF is like you are playing wrestler of someone else. You're trying to reenact what this person did or what that person did. You're someone who watched the tapes like, oh, Roddy Piper did this. I want to do it too. Therefore, I'm the version of Roddy Piper. Okay, this one is I'm Ricky Steamboat. I'm Ricky Steamboat tonight. I'm Flair tonight. I'm this person tonight. I'm that person tonight. Who are you, MJF? At this point, like no one knows. When he first started, I'm someone who watched the videos. I've studied. I know the tape. This is who I am. And now all of a sudden, I'm Stone Cold tonight. No, I'm The Rock. No, and like, who are you? So the match.
But why are you upset by that? Isn't that what made you fall in love with him in the first place?
What made me like MJF in the first, because he was when he used to do the pipe bombs and he was very smug. It was limited.
Why do you keep saying pipe bombs like it's numerous?
It was okay. When he would cut promos, his promos, it was okay. MJF comes up, this little promo. Oh, it's a little bit snarky. Okay, then you go away. That's when it came to TK. MJF on week 1, not on until week 4, comes back week 2. So like, you got it in doses, right? But you're getting it every single week and every single time. It's like, oh, it's tiring after a while. It's like, okay, well, so like MJF right now is like, you're not being molded, and you're becoming your version of a star based on what you have seen in the past. But in the past, people were in a box. They were guided to it. Here's what I hate about AEW. There are veterans there, I guess. Chris Jericho, the Ocho. I want to say this on this podcast. The last person of the Stu Hart Dungeon, the Lionheart himself, Chris Jericho.
You said the last person to survive it. You're supposed to say the last person to survive it. Yeah, the last survivor.
The only man to defeat Stone Cold and then The Rock in the same night.
The only man.
Who are the bearers in AEW? Who's got MJF? Nobody. Sting? No. Jericho? No. Jerry Lynn? No. Who's guiding him? Nobody. So what he's being guided by is tapes and his own opinion. He will go to the Fed and screw himself. He won't listen to anybody.
What you got, Vern? What you thinking?
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Again, you're mad at him for being exactly who he told you he was from day one.
No, I'm not. I'm mad at him for not controlling himself.
Fickle fan. From day one, he's been the same thing, fickle fan. Why all of a sudden
he has gotten worse. He's gotten worse.
Has he gotten worse, or have your eyes been open? Have you woken up and you realize
what's changed? If anything, MJF is leaning harder into what makes MJF MJF. He makes more PP jokes. He makes more curse word joke. He does more swear words. He gives more fingers. All the things that make you go, yay, this is adult wrestling. Yay. So what? I don't understand that. MJF is literally because he's literally doing what he told y'all he does, and y'all loved him for it, and now that he's still doing it, it's too much.
But like I said, MLW is MLW is the soup kitchen of wrestling.
I'm not talking about MLW, man. I'm talking about his AEW run.
His AEW run, I feel like he's gotten worse as time. He said, made my eyes even open a little bit more clearly. He's gotten worse as time progressed. Oh, what about him and what the Pinnacle? What about that? The Pinnacle equals Evolution. He's Triple H. He's Ric Flair. He's I think I'm never stable. That's what he wanted to be. Was he that?
I can see that comparison.
That's what.
Remember, he did a sing along with Chris Jericho too. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
whatever that was.
There's no boundaries for him. It's evident. It's bad, but there's no boundaries.
That's the point of AEW. I don't understand why you're trying to explain to me why it's a bad thing when it's literally the point. It's why you liked it.
No, it's not why I liked it. I liked it because when Vince was booking at that time, it did not make logical sense.
Oh my God.
He seeked out an alternative. He seeked out an alternative, and this is what he fell into. But as time goes on,
it wasn't passable. It wasn't passable. When was it passable?
Compared to what Vince was doing at that time period, come on. Why
Vernon, in his defense, sorry Ian to cut you off, but in his defense, Vernon, this is why I like playing moderate. I love this. So I'm gonna say something to you, Ian, real quick before I continue on with this take, because I'm gonna defend you here. Vern is the type to always trigger me on this podcast. I don't know if you've seen these episodes, Ian, but Vern's always got this set up to trigger me. Now that you're on the face of frustration, that Vern, you are the trigger, and I'm loving every minute of this. Every minute of this. So we were now that I said that, I'm drawing a blank here, but we were talking about how MJF was you're saying MJF is the same exact guy. And now Ian was watching through rose-colored glasses. That's what I was gonna point.
Oh, yeah. He was watching through
AEW
glasses.
AEW was the alternative. It goes, I'm sick of Vince. I can't sit and watch these 3-hour Raws. What's this new thing over here?
Sure.
Shiny. Ooh, AEW. I like it. I was the same way. I wasn't, not because of I hated Vince's booking or anything. You know me. I look at it as a worker because, you know, I've been doing this for a while now. I look at it like, hey, more jobs. It's the first thing I said. Perfect. More jobs. I hope this succeeds. That was my look on it. So I can understand where Ian's coming from as a fan, looking at it like, screw this. I can't take Roman Reigns being shoved down my throat, suffering succotash Roman Reigns being shoved down my throat every week.
Yeah.
And I got to go somewhere.
God, just to think to have a guy on top. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that in wrestling when guys are on top. Go ahead, Frank. I'm sorry, Frank. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving him a
wrestling logic. Wrestling logic doesn't work. You're right, Frank. I'm sorry. Wrestling logic doesn't work. Moving on, Frank.
I think we move on.
Wrestling logic doesn't work. Sorry, guys.
That's not wrestling logic. That's your version of wrestling logic.
Sorry, guys. A guy on top. You're right. Guy on top. So
limited wrestling logic.
Guy on top. Yeah.
Limited wrestling logic.
Before we move on from this segment here, this little portion of our episodes, we're up to episode 7 right now of our things. I want to talk real quick about Roxanne Perez. She debuted in that for episode 5 for us, that 420 episode, and she's had a hell of a year. Would you guys not agree? Yeah. I mean, that might be the only thing you guys agree on at this moment. She's had a hell of a year. Yeah. I mean, not even if she's haven't even been here a full year. I'm sorry. I've been doing podcasts on Tuesday, so I don't know if she's still NXT Women's Champion. I haven't watched.
She's not.
They're about to. Did they officially strip her?
It's because was she hurt or something, or storyline wise?
Storyline. I mean, so I think it's they're redoing the Shawn Michaels angle he did with Owen Hart, where Shawn Michaels faked the kick to the back of the head, and remember Shawn Michaels.
And he was a concussion. Yeah, because he just got beat up in
the Shawn Owen
or something.
Yep. Yeah. So that's why I texted you. I said, hey, do you think they're gonna get a couple of Marines to beat up Roxy so she can show up to the show?
I mean, Shawn's booking a bunch of his old stuff.
Shawn's booking it, so why not?
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I was like. Why not?
Why not?
Because Shawn tweets out, the tweet he put out was like, due to the injuries that she may not be cleared, we may have to put the belt on someone else. And I was like, so I wonder if he's going to have her tearfully come out and have to hand the belt to who's going to be her Dean Douglas? Who's going to be her Dean Douglas to accept the belt and be pissed?
Tiffany Stratton.
Gosh. Tiffany Stratton
is going to be her Dean. But see, I think unlike Dean, Tiffany Stratton would grab that belt and run with it. But anyway.
Yeah, you're right. I can't. But
it can't be Tiffany Stratton. It'd be too good.
I mean, but my question is, why would they book Roxanne that way? I think that she
is Roxanne is Roxanne maybe shoot hurt and she can't compete for a little bit, so they want to take it off her for a while.
Of Samara,
I mean, nothing.
Again, I haven't watched in a while, so you guys are helping me.
Nothing in the match looked brutal. That it was like, wow. She kept giving her head kicks, but the head kicks against anybody else.
So I can explain Jey Uso being absent for a while, because remember Jey Uso had that, I think it was his wrist or something that he needed surgery or something, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But they said
what Dave say?
Oh, I don't know what Dave said. I don't listen to Dave. So
well, the resident Dave expert is here. So what did Dave say?
What did Dave say?
The resident. I don't remember what Dave said, actually. I'm
sorry. I know they said something about his wrist. They even said it on TV because his wrist was taped for a while. Mm-hmm. So he didn't do a lot of in-ring stuff, I believe, for a minute because of that. But they worked around it to still keep Jay included into the show. So I believe that's one of the reasons why you haven't seen him actually wrestling in ring for a while. That's why I was asking him maybe that was the case for Roxanne, because she might be shoot hurt in some aspect, maybe bum knee, tore up ankle, but who knows? And she needs a few weeks. And they're starting to go on the road now, if I'm not mistaken, right? These guys are on the road doing shows, so she's going to be needed more than ever now that they're hitting the road and all that stuff. So, let's see, we are in June now, right?
Yep.
So March 9th. The March 9th episode, we talked about Jeff Hardy going to AEW. 2 weeks later, we did we talked about his debut match. June 5th, he's out of there.
Why not?
A matter of 90 days, 90-day return on investment. Forget about it. He's out. We talked in depth, Vern, about we watched the video. We watched the police footage of Jeff failing the sobriety test and getting hauled away. My man was swerving all over the highway. And our first thing was, where's his support system to stop him from doing this stuff? That was one of the first things we thought of. Yeah. I want to elaborate on that a little bit, but let me get to August.
Humble to the top.
Yeah, we're moving modest to the top.
Modest to the top. Yeah, it was modest to the top.
We had the Owen Hart tournament that had just finished.
Cole.
Ian got the belt. Ian got the T-shirt and the belt.
I got the shout out to Martha Hart for screwing WWE and bringing it to AEW.
Oh, what? Christ!
Remember, Owen Hart's going to be an unlockable player in the video game. By the way, don't forget that, boys.
Fight forever. Best. Better than Here Comes the Pain.
Fight forever. Fight whenever, because when is that thing coming out?
Yeah.
Punk wins the title around this time. If you can help me out, Ian, what pay-per-view is that he won the belt at? Around June. All out. Okay.
He won it at
This is first run.
The first.
He beat Hangman, right?
He went at Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. Okay. So then we have because All Out's the brawl out, and we'll get to that too. Oh, yeah. This is when it started getting spiked. Man, that was a crazy episode. The Vince scandal started popping out. We talked more about Jeff Hardy. This is also the first time Punk gets injured. That was his arm?
No, wasn't the first.
The foot.
That was the foot.
The foot. Jumping into the crowd. He busts his foot. And he can't. It was literally the week at the show after the pay-per-view, right?
He got hyped with a CMFTR. The match with CMFTR where he jumped,
and then he tried to jump through springboards, foot's all jacked up, has to leave for a while, has to drop the title, puts it back on Moxley. Am I correct? Am I correct in my state? Correct me if I'm wrong.
John Moxley good.
Yeah. All right. So then Vince scandal. Paige leaves. Wow. Paige leaves in June. The Fed. What else happens here? So in July, we have the Forbidden Door. We have Blood and Guts.
The best pay-per-view of last year, according to the Wrestling Observer fan base.
Forbidden Door, yeah. We'll get to that.
Voted number one pay-per-view by the wrestling, but your kinfolk voted it number
one.
My
kinfolk. All of a sudden, they're my kinfolk. Okay,
Vern, hold it. Don't do that.
Just don't do that.
We have the Blood and Guts match. I believe that's the one with Kingston, where he just started whacking people with the kendo stick as he walked in. I believe that's that match. Then this is where Logan Paul signs officially with the WWE. And the most important thing of our timetable between June and July, the Maximum Male models to debut. So I said we were going to talk about the models earlier, and I said we're going to scrap it for next week. I think we're going to talk about them more next week, but we can bring them up today for a little bit. The last thing I want to do before we jump into August, it had jumped from one woman for $3 million for McMahon to 4 women and $12 million. And then we watched Control Your Narrative for the first time 10 shows later, and that's when I was talking about we were all set. We neither just to be quick about Control Your Narrative, neither one of us finished the show. We got about an hour in. I think I got a little further than you, Vern. I think I got to an hour and a half. You got to about 45 minutes. You were all set. I was all set. That's the last time I've ever watched Control Your Narrative. I don't even know if they run anymore. So
all they do at NWA. Sorry, guys. Billy bought out CYN. Billy bought him out. So EC3 wins again. I know.
How are you going to call yourselves Control Your Narrative and then sell the company?
Because he is one of the good guys.
Because EC3 definitely told it's that EC3 storyteller, Fred. You know how good
please tell me you put that as a note. Yes, you did. It's the same episode as Brawl Out. I love you for that, Vern. I love you for that. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I gotta read my Miranda rights. You didn't read.
Didn't read my Miranda rights.
You didn't read my Miranda rights.
We got a rookie. We got a rookie on our hands.
We'll get there. Velveteen was a good character. We're gonna call him friend of the show, Velveteen Dream at this point. All right. The last one. Okay, yeah, no, because then we'll jump into August. So we'll start with Ian, I believe. I think I started with you, Vern, last time. We'll start with Ian. Anything stick out? Jeff Hardy, Owen Hart Cup, Punk title.
Let me run through this quick. Jeff Hardy got signed because Matt wanted his brother to come with him and work at AEW. Mm-hmm. Bad idea. One thing that comes to mind with Jeff Hardy is that match on Dynamite of him and Darby Allin.
Oh my God!
Random show.
Where he almost died.
Darby shot out like a bullet or something. Yeah,
it almost killed him. And then we did the swanton off the ladder.
And almost died.
Why? Yep. On Dynamite? Why?
Yeah. Why are you doing that on Dynamite?
Because Tony Khan gives all the fans what they want.
Yeah. Hey, moving on. What else? This scandal.
Yeah, the Vince scandal. Yep.
And I know this. I don't want to get Vernon all hyped up again, but this is a no. This was a bad boy. He should be held accountable. Long term, this is the best thing that could have happened to the Fed. I hated how they treated Vince. This is someone who did not deserve what he went through, but it was the best thing. Him stepping back, allowing Triple H take over, bringing in Shawn Michaels, getting rid of that goddamn Bruce Pritchard. It changed everything. Now, I know you, Vernon, you're going to say, Bruce Pritchard and Vince are great together. Look what had booked NXT when it was all rainbows and unicorns. You love that stuff.
Braun Breaker, baby.
Braun Breaker was, I love Braun Breaker. But don't let me keep going.
But let's poo poo on Pritchard. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead, keep going.
My point is, when you look back in retrospect, what happened to Vince had to be a blessing for WWE.
Sure.
I agree.
It turned things around, and I know if Vince was still there, where would they be? Do not say the same place. Do not say the same place.
There's you have a different set of eyes now on the product that are heading everything. So yeah, I agree. In hindsight, you look at it, Vince getting caught with this scandal and having to step back and letting somebody else have to run creative. Because I remember at first we thought, okay, well, he's stepping back on the business side. He's not gonna be able to run creative. And then all of a sudden it was, we're going to talk about it in August. Vince is retiring. Like, wait, what? Because what did we say, Vern? The only way, I think a few episodes before that, we were like, the only way Vince is ever relinquishing this, it's they got to pry it literally from his cold, dead hands. Yeah. When Vince meets up with the Grim Reaper and says, okay, I'm ready, that's the only way he was going. We were going to get a new look. And then this happens all in that same year. So, I don't know if you had anything more to elaborate on, Ian. Go ahead.
A Punk winning against Adam Page. Adam Page was a I guess he was like the not Sid. He was. I'm trying to think of a transition champion. I can't think one that comes to mind, but he was the Ken Anderson. I'm looking at your shirt. The Ken Anderson of his era. So like,
but shouldn't he have been a bigger star? Like that's the thing that's messed up here is that Punk, but Hangman was positioned to be this top guy
from day one.
Hangman was
Jericho was putting him over from day one. I remember.
What happens? What happens to Hangman that Hangman doesn't become top guy?
Can I answer that?
CM Punk.
Please.
Oh, but yeah, go ahead.
The bell rang. That's first of all. Okay. The bell rang and Hangman
Ian's
had to work.
feelings are hurt right now because Ian is a huge fan.
I'm sorry. Listen, the bell rang and then Hangman had to work. Never liked Hangman ever. Ring of Honor, didn't care. Coming out with the noose.
Ian has a Bullet Club t-shirt with Hangman on it, man. Ian loves the noose with the Hangman on it.
And and I don't think you look at Hangman Page and do you see this is the man that is going to be the top guy of my company when you look at Hangman Page.
He can't be talking to Mike, but he's a man, damn it. So it's okay. But,
I guess.
Sometimes I hear voices deep inside me screaming out so loud.
Stop it. Stop
over
it.
The silence.
Don't you stop. Stop, Vern.
Telling me.
Stop. You stop that. You stop the lyrics right now.
What to do.
Shout.
I risk it all. Even if I lose, it's the only way you'll ever hold up your head up high.
Yes. Thank you. Wow. Wow. That's a game changer.
I just need to toss in a random Dixie shout out right there.
Wow.
I just want to say, Vern, I hate you. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Hold on, Vern. Are you ready, Vern? I got you, Ian.
Dixie,
I got you, Ian.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Oh, look at that face. That is a knee slapper right there.
Bring back Dixie Carter. That's what AEW needs.
They need
AEW. Stop. We're not playing that anymore. No. It's still playing in my ear. Oh Christ.
Anyway, back onto this. Man,
Jesus, I'm mad you did that.
Out of everything you just said, I'll say this. The Vince scandal, yes, no one could deny the Vince scandal had to happen. The Vince scandal was necessary at this point. I'm not saying that it was bad, but I'm saying him being out, I can't disagree with you. Best thing that ever happened. It shot life into the Fed in a way that hasn't in a long time. Mm-hmm. Man, Punk, I'm not a Punk fan. But I'm not a Punk fan because when you watch Phil do shoot interviews, Phil's a creep. Phil's been a creep forever.
Yeah.
So I've always had my issue with Phil before before Phil became big in the Fed was just, man, Phil's a creep.
But you know what? Also in those interviews, besides him being a creep, because I remember listening to those, Phil's always the victim. Everything's
storytelling. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, that chick was a rat. Yeah. Oh, we used to take her money, just make her do all this stuff. Just be like, whatever. Yeah. But no, dude, she was like so annoying though.
Yeah.
She's a rat you would use for all this stuff, but she's super annoying. So that was your justification. She's super annoying.
Yeah.
She slept with all the boys. Doesn't even matter. Anyway, I won't get into weird Punk, but weird. You remember this? Remember when I was rewatching it like 6 months ago? Remember, like a few months ago, I was rewatching the CM Punk Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
shoot interview, and I was
you sent it to me. I remember
and I was like, "Oh, geez, I forgot how raunchy these stories are."
Yeah, man.
And again, early young me was giggling at Punk telling these crazy stories. Now adult me is like,
"Nah, it's weird. It's weird,
these
man.
These stories did not age well at all."
Yeah,
but seeing the backlash that Punk has got, I looking back, I'm a huge Punk fan now. I'm all about CM Punk because
we'll get there. We'll get
CM
there.
Punk makes the world angry. So Punk being hurt here hurts my feelings. I wish he didn't get hurt. And Paige leaving the Fed. It's right there next to Keith Lee, right there next to Jay White.
Well, I'll tell you this: Paige is now on TV every week with the Outsiders gimmick,
giving people the finger.
Giving people a finger. I definitely just watched her today. Flip the bird.
I watched it too.
And spray paint people.
How awful was that, Ian? It was pretty bad.
It was. And then they all started talking. Said, I am the miracle. No, you're not.
I'm the reason I breathe life into this division. I think she said tonight or something like that. I'm like,
all right. Can we just? At what point are we going to stop talking in superlatives in wrestling? I am the division. I am wrestling. I am like someone's. I'm just. I am the body slam. Just someone start claiming I am a move. I am the body slam.
I am the table.
I am exactly because it's just so silly right now. Like every woman that walks in is going to run the division.
Like
what?
Taya Valkyrie.
Ty Valkyrie did come in. Did you see that?
I screamed when she came. I'm like,
of joy. You were jumping up and down. You ran downstairs and high five. Yes, you did. You ran around the high five family.
Jade won again, as always. And I'm like, who? I'm thinking in my head, who's a free agent who's going to debut to lose to Jade? Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie can't even work. I know she can't. I've never liked Taya Valkyrie.
Chill.
We're talking about AAA. Are we going there, Vernon?
Yo, what? You're gonna hate on la reina, la mea loca?
Yes,
loca.
I am,
bro.
I am.
Bro, stop it.
She's
AAA
also currently
your AAA knowledge isn't that deep to be able to brag.
Currently, the MLW featherweight champion, Taya Valkyrie. Well, I'm putting it up. Yep, I know.
Okay.
No, you didn't realize that? Yeah.
No.
Major League Wrestling has done it again.
Okay.
Shout out to Enzo. Shout out to
Another
Enzo.
Star.
Shout out to
Zoe.
Enzo.
First of all, it's Zoe. All right, it's Zoe.
It's Zoe. It's Bonafide G and a
Bonafide G Zoe.
Stud.
The real one.
Let's see what I could bring up here.
And look, Forbidden Door.
Yeah, let's talk about Forbidden Door.
It wasn't better than Mania. It wasn't better than Mania.
I didn't care for that pay-per-view.
But this actually goes back to your point from earlier, which it's interesting because now I feel like I need to take back what I said. I'm going to now because now, but I can and I can't because technically let me defend myself. I think you're gonna jump on me. I said earlier, if Japanese
Frank,
Japan,
check this out. He does a two-step.
No, but hear me out. Let me complete my full thought.
I will let you. I will interrupt you.
Good. I know what's happening. Forbidden Door, was it the best review of the year? No, it was not. The build for it was terrible. No one knew who these people were. But also, all of them are also debuting on AEW. Some people don't know what AEW is. In my defense, everyone knows World Wrestling Entertainment. It is global, right? So in my defense, if it were a global play, if it was a global stage, different conversation. AEW for about 10,000 fans. Oh, look, it's Okada. Okay. And some people know, think about it. We think back to the episodes when Okada came out and Jay White came out. People were like, oh yeah, Okada. And even with them having Forbidden Door in, I believe, Chicago, the crowd was like, after a while, I was like, okay, no one cared. You know, what Forbidden Door reminded me of was a stretch. Starrcade 95. New Japan versus WCW. It reminded me of that. But
I'm looking at this card. This card is rough.
What?
I'm looking at it's 13 matches.
WCW 95?
No.
I was like
Forbidden Door. I'm talking about. I can pull that card up. I'm here on Wikipedia.
Compare and contrast.
Let me get. You said Starrcade 95. Can you guys read that? I don't know if y'all can read that. Let me try and blow it up.
Yeah.
That better? Here we go. That might be better. So we had 4 pre-show matches. While I'm looking up, you guys can look at it. 4 pre-show matches. You had Suzuki and the Sex Gods. Why were they a team together? Just so you can throw some names in there. Defeating Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta.
Remember that? Remember when Eddie just kept taking L after? Remember when Eddie was the second coming of Dusty Rhodes? Remember that?
Remember when he worked Jericho?
And he did an interview that they should have done something with him, but instead they just let Jericho chew him up and grind him out.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. The World Cup of Wrestling.
Yeah, one of the greatest of all time.
I've got it here too. So let's look at this card real quick. I'm gonna just go through the rest of this. FTR defeated United Empire. This was the 4-way, 3-way, and then Roppongi Vice. I do remember in this match there was a moment where I said to myself, "Man, how crazy would it be if Roppongi actually won?" And then they did a spot where it was very close. I think Rocky defeating, I believe, United Empire, and I was like, "Whoa!" And then just for a moment, they got me. I was like, oh, okay. But then, FTR wound up defeating the rest of them. The All Atlantic Championship, which is now the International Championship.
That Jeff Jarrett should have won tonight, by the way. He should have won.
So that debuted in June. It changed in less than a year to another title. Good job there. The Dudes with Attitudes taking on the Bullet Club.
That was great. Hikuleo. Shout out to Hikuleo.
Yeah, shout out to Hikuleo. Tony Storm being defeated by Thunder Rosa for the title.
That match was rough. That match was bad. I remember that one.
Osprey and Orange Cassidy for the United States title, which I think, Vern, if I'm not mistaken, we were shocked about. We were like, that's actually one of the sleeper matches of that card, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Claudio and Zach, and I'm a huge, you know me, Vern, I'm a huge Claudio guy. I was not impressed by that match. I remember saying that. And then this cluster here, if you guys can see my mouse, this cluster here with the weird ending. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say. Yeah, it's the last time he's worked.
Yep, it's the match that killed Adam Cole.
The match that killed Adam Cole. What did he do? He fixed his hair, fixed his trunk, slid into position, and got pinned, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then Moxley defeated Tanahashi by pinfall. We had no Daniel Bryan for this. I'm sorry, that's a slave name. No Bryan Danielson because he was hurt.
And that's
Claudio that was his debut. Am I not mistaken? Claudio debuted at Forbidden Door, right?
No, I think he debuted the Dynamite. Did he debut?
Right, because they said you're gonna find out your opponent or something, and then it wound up being Claudio coming. It's all a blur.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it was.
So okay, let's show up Starrcade 95 World Cup of Wrestling. On the dark match, we had DDP beating Dave Sullivan. Good old Evad. The American males defeated the Blue Bloods. Now I gotta go back and watch this.
AKA Abyss. AKA Abyss. Evad.
Yeah.
Evad story revamped for
my God. The American males defeated the Blue Bloods. Just for this match alone, I wish I could watch this if this was on DVD. I love the Blue Bloods. Oh, it was great. So, Earl Robert Eaton, that was the best. That was the best back then. Jushin Thunder Liger defeats Chris Benoit. Koji Kanemoto defeats Alex Wright. Alex Wright, sleeper worker from back then. Luger. Don't make that face, Vern. Don't make that face.
I'm saying I'm not disagreeing. This is a banger,
bro. Don't make that face, Vern. All right. Lex Luger. 6-minute match with Chono. Right. Johnny who's
every time Luger took a hit.
Johnny B. Bad defeated Saito by DQ.
That happened.
That's crazy to think of.
By DQ.
Saito worked Johnny B. Bad.
Yes, go.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. It's not up here. I'm sorry. My bad. The whole time I had it on the wrong tab.
There he is.
I got it here.
Look at him. As a Jaguar, as a motivational
speaker worked Saito. Okay.
Saito, which is
Jiro Otani defeated Eddie Guerrero. I bet that one was amazing. Randy Savage defeated Tenzan. Sting defeated Sasaki. Kensei. I always say Sasaki. Thank you. Flair defeated. Luger worked twice.
Yeah.
And so did Flair. And Sting. Was it a tournament? See, I never watched this pay-per-view, so please.
So the main event was a triangle match.
Okay.
So Sting and Luger fought, and then Flair came in for the main. So Flair then wrestled again because the card was WCW versus New Japan. Flair wasn't part of that part. So Flair has title shot against, if I remember, it was number one contenders match. So Flair, Sting, and Luger had three-way triangle match. And Flair won. I can't remember how he won. And then he fought Macho Man right after. And the ending of it. Oh my goodness!
I gotta watch this pay-per-view. Now.
8 minutes. 8 minutes. It's an 8-minute match, and Flair does money.
I believe it.
And the last 3 minutes of the match, Flair blades, and then Arn Anderson. It's so amazing. But that's his name. But comparing those two, which card is better?
Just off reading both cards, Starrcade is hands down the better card. And I watched Forbidden Door. So,
yeah, but the argument here would be you're saying that because you just named legends of the game. You just named a bunch of legends who are on this card, and there's a bunch of dud matches on here. Some matches that make you scratch your head.
I'm sure like the Johnny B. Bad Saito match was what it was.
But
you're talking Liger Benoit. Okay? That's off the top. Like, what? You got to see that as your opener.
10 minutes. They went 10 minutes.
Let's compare that to Max Caster and the Gun Club. Hold on. Max Caster and the Gun Club. Yep. Defeated Yuya Uemura and the New Japan LA Dojo. Oh, sorry. That wasn't the first match.
That was
That was the last dark match. There's so many of them. Minoru Suzuki and the La Sex Gods defeated Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta. So let's compare show opener to show opener. Those guys got 20 minutes. And you're telling me you can't Liger and Benoit for 10?
You could have given me Minoru Suzuki and the Sex Gods for 2 minutes.
For no minutes? Oh, I think that's what you wanted to say.
Was
no much. Exactly. So yeah, we are on that for a little bit. So now I just realized we are now 2 hours into.
Yeah, where we might have to.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed things up just a little bit.
Yeah.
We have Vince retire on Twitter. All right, we have the SummerSlam. I just want to touch base real quick on how Vince came out after the scandal, then now forever together. I'm out. And then before you know it, he had to retire. And then Stephanie did the thank you Vince deal.
By the way, remember that send off also, Ian's ilk voted that was the most gross promotional tactic of 2022. But go ahead, keep going.
I will continue. We had SummerSlam. That was a very good SummerSlam. That was Triple H's first pay-per-view. So that's
book correcting. Thank you, Triple H.
Bianca. No, not Bianca. Bianca won, and then Bayley and Damage Control were formed on that night. My girl, Triple B's. Flair's last match was also around this time.
Oh,
Flair almost died.
You mean Flair dying?
Yes, we will.
Dying.
We had Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, which was now the 2 out of 3 falls match with FTR and Briscoes. Was it Super Card of Honor, or was it this pay-per-view where Gresham was like, I'm all set?
It was this
Gresham, that one. It was the opener.
Okay.
The opener
Gresham came out, no gear, maybe 8 minutes, match is over, Claudio's champ. Kenny Omega makes his return around this time too. With the diminishing gear till he got his.
And then he took one thing off, and then he became. I told Vernon that. I said that's what he's doing.
He did. I remember I told you. I said Ian put this theory, and I was like, it looks like it's coming.
And that's exactly what happened. That's
again. How did he know? One of them.
No,
he was still dwelling in the basement. You hadn't poured cement into your basement yet.
No, that wasn't. Was it August?
This was August.
Yeah, before All Out. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because we're getting there. I'm gonna stop at Brawl Out, and then we'll talk about it then. And then we're gonna wrap up the year after that, so we can take this on home. So then we had Roman hit the 2-year mark as champion, and this is where we started talking about, man, he's got to get to 1,000 days. We've been talking about that since September, and this is when the Bloodline story was starting to pick up steam at this time frame in September. When Sammy was, trying to court and all that good stuff. Then we had Brawl Out. And then I think we'll leave that alone. EC3 and Velveteen Dream. I think that was more for us.
Yeah, that was great. More just funny for us.
Yeah, it was hilarious watching these two bicker at each other, former co-workers. I'm going to jump to October really quick. Where people went crazy about Malachi Black leaving, thinking he was going back to the E.
No, let's remember, all of them were leaving. Him, Brody,
him and Murphy. They all needed some time off. That was
They all did indie shows where they grabbed the microphones like Father Tremont. And cut promos after
that. Shout out Father Tremont. Why is he not on this list, by the way?
Who now? Huh? Who?
Why isn't H2O on this list? I'm sorry.
Okay.
This list is invalid. Father Tremont didn't make the list when he fought a Sawyer Wreck.
The Barbed Wire Massacre? We watched that.
We watched it in the 10,000 light tube death match where they literally broke all 10,000 light tubes.
It was not pretty at all. He bled a lot.
You know how I feel about deathmatch wrestling, so
I hate it, but I love Matt Tremont.
With Matt Tremont,
I've seen Matt Tremont live, and Matt Tremont is something else. That boy's entertaining.
Matt Tremont, what he tells you, sucker, And he tells on his Taz voice, and he's going, "Let me tell you something, sucker."
It's Action Bronson reincarnated. That's who Matt Tremont is.
Nah, Matt Tremont. Shout out to Matt Tremont. We joke around, but hey, man, them kids kill each other.
Oh yeah,
kill each other.
Oh, okay.
Big up, shout out to that man Chondo. Big up to Chondo.
Thank you.
That's the
Big
greatest.
Chondo, man.
That is the guy that keeps us coming back. Is to watch Chondo.
Okay.
Because Chondo.
I don't watch H2O, so go ahead.
Dangerous to watch wrestle. Yet he doesn't care. He's in it. He'll put up his hands to block the chair like this. He doesn't care. He'll block like a little kid. He'll put his hand in front of his face and try to move his. He'll move his hand like this to try to stop you.
I don't think I could do this anymore.
Yo.
Also,
and then Chondo will pour glass on the floor and just walk all over it barefoot just because.
Oh he also wrestles barefoot.
This is wrestling. Barefoot. This is wrestling.
Shout out to Chondo because he loves the game.
Can I get to November, Vern? You continue about
Chondo. And Chondo doing his best Ric Flair when Chondo just starts beating himself in the face mid promo.
Oh my god!
For 20 people. Yeah.
What am I looking at here, Vern? Help me with this note here. You're looking at it, right?
Which one?
LP versus RR in Saudi. LP Ronda Rousey. RR
versus
LP versus RR.
Roman Reigns. LP Roman Reigns.
Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look at those notes. Like, what are we doing here? So we have the brawl out. Malachi Black and all these guys talking about they're leaving. A lot of tampering at that point. People thought was happening. A lot of
nobody thought that. Nobody thought that. Dave thought that.
Everybody
the Bucks
thought that.
were leaking that. Nobody thought that.
Okay, stop that. Stop. Okay. Logan Paul, Roman Reigns, Saudi. The influx of AEW celebrities for no reason, like like Trina, Fabulous, and
Mike
DJ
Tyson.
Who Kid.
Ian's never saw a problem with it. Go ahead.
Rick Ross.
But we didn't. I don't think we got to that part yet.
Accusations.
Accusations. False. Accusations.
Legendary.
Notice. Hey, you notice? He said you a big MFer to Keith Lee. Done. Never on TV again. Did you notice that?
When Keith Lee went.
Did he show up again?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Keith was
he's been on Dynamite. Keith Lee's on Dynamite with Dustin Rhodes, a natural enlightenment.
But what I'm talking about, not Keith Lee, I'm talking about Rick Ross. Rick Ross was done.
The moguls. Oh, the whole mogul idea has been dead after that moment. The whole idea is dead. Only person doing the mogul thing is Swerve.
And he cut a promo. He cut a promo, and his guys weren't even behind him anymore. So I was like, "What's the point of this gimmick right now?"
Or the hoodies? They're not. Remember when Keith Lee
hoodies up?
I forgot my hoodie at home, but with the boys of the hoodie group,
splendid. Okay,
mind you, Ian also cried when Keith Lee debuted. But go ahead.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna continue here. You is a slander. How many thumb to the eyes are you gonna do tonight, Vern? Okay,
how many kicks below the belt?
Right. Then we had some deaths.
Okay, I'll say this: Brawl Out.
I was gonna keep going.
Sided with Punk. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. Okay,
keep going to November.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. I just want to make sure I let you know that I side with Punk.
Inoki passes away. Sarah Lee passes away.
Rest in peace.
Guevara. Yep. Guevara and Idolo have their crazy Twitter beef that winded up being after Brawl Out and backstage. Nigel McGuinness gets released. Wow, a lot of things happen in October. Ace Steel from the Brawl Out Fallout gets released. Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash's kid, passes away. Death come in threes. Those are the three there. We watched Impact. Oh my Lord, I'll never get that. How long? 2 weeks.
That was a 2-week mark. That's
we watched
2 weeks into it.
Oh, we watched Impact for like 10 weeks.
I know that was when we were 2 weeks into it, and we both said Lance is a liar.
Oh,
that was a note we wrote. Was Lance is a liar.
Yeah, Lance is a lie. That's a fact.
And Ian liked every second of it though.
Oh, stop.
That's a lie. I convinced you to watch. I said watch After Bound for Glory. Give it a shot. I didn't watch it. I'm not an idiot. But yeah.
I'll never get my hours back. MJF teasing babyface with my Devils. The Kingdom, Renee Moxley good. Renee Paquette is all elite. And then Nick Aldis leaves NWA. And then what's this? Montreal
Ian
25.
cried.
Remember
25 years. The 20 screw job.
Montreal screw job. Thank you. 25
Montreal
years
and then the Orlando screw job was I think 11.
Oh, stop that. Okay, go back. We'll jump back. We started in August. Vince retiring on Twitter. SummerSlam, Flair's last match. Just stop me when I say something. Ring of Honor.
Oh, Flair's last match. Flair's last match. We cannot go by Flair dying in the ring.
Yeah, Flair died in the ring.
Flair literally died.
We all agree that Flair died in the ring. Flair died, right?
Yes.
He got superplexed. He couldn't get superplexed because he couldn't get up there. He got suplexed. The legs went, and he was done. Right? He was just laying there. And then I love that Vern laughs at this every time because this is Vern's favorite part right here, Ian. I don't know if he's ever told you this. Andrade comes over and goes, boss, yeah, I have the knucks. And then Flair's like this. This is the mat, and this is him. And and let's say these crackers are the knucks. He's like, for the audio listener, I'm just smacking the crackers on my palm of my hand, the black hand side of my hand. That's Vern's favorite part. Like he's geeking. He's turning red.
Because he was legitimately dead. And either was like, boss.
I watched it.
Trying to will him back to life as Flair returns from the dead to that horrible nut shot.
Oh, gosh. And then put him in the figure four and just laid there with his arms back. Listen.
He died.
I remember I watched it live. I said to my wife, I said, babe, we got to watch Ric Flair one last time. We watched the whole pay-per-view. I was on my phone up until Ric Flair's last actual match because the rest of that card, forget it. Flair comes out and they work, I think, 30 minutes? I think they worked 30 minutes.
They worked 29
everything, but everything was good in the beginning. Whole lot of gaga. They're taking their time. And then Flair blades.
Jeff Jarrett put together a great match.
Shout out to Jeff Jarrett. Shout out to Jeff Jarrett.
But then Flair blades.
Immediately Flair blades.
Oh God. Forget it. From there, he takes a superplex and he lies in the ring. Doesn't he make the hot tag to Andrade and then just lay there in the corner?
Yes. Dies. Like, stop saying laying there. He dies.
He dies in the corner. He died several times.
They Weekend at Bernie's him. He got Weekend. We watched the match. We watched Weekend at Bernie's, the wrestling.
Yes.
Can we please put a picture of Ric Flair in that match, please?
Oh yeah, I'll see if I can get one. Go ahead, but yeah, please, your thoughts while you're thinking about it. What are you talking about?
I think Flair had no business having that match. It made me laugh. Because I mean, I watched the match myself live, and I'm like, what?
You paid for it?
God,
nope.
I'm gonna pull it up on Google while you talk about it. There's so many pictures, I can't pick just one. Continue.
There it is.
Keep going. This is the hot tag.
Right.
Here's the hot tag.
There, Flair dead. That is
dead.
Oh my God.
Post-match promo. Knuck shot.
And Jarrett sold it like $1 million, even though Flair couldn't lift his arm.
Brother, look how good he looked walking out here. You know, I'm thinking, okay, Flair looks pretty damn
Conrad
decent.
let him borrow a belt. Flair's out there, one of Conrad's belts.
Is that, dude, you're joking. Oh, because he pawned his off. That's right.
He pawned his off. That's not his.
Conrad owns all the belts.
Taker, Mick was there. Oh,
there's him. There's Idolo going, boss.
Boss. No, that's after. Look at Jarrett's leg.
Oh, that's after he died.
Oh my gosh, he laid like there. I'm telling you. Okay, I don't mean to be dark, but I've seen death live in front of me. This is the face of death. Eyes closed, mouth open. That is the face of death. I'm sorry. Flair died several times that night. You can't tell me he didn't.
I'm laughing about it, and I apologize. It's morbid to laugh at it, but it was the most ridiculous thing because it didn't have to happen.
He didn't.
Ric Flair did not have to do this match.
This should have been Ric Flair's last match.
He had nothing to prove. You know what? I don't care what he says about it. It's just Ric Flair is the ultimate. This is what addiction will do to you. No matter what it is you're addicted to, doesn't matter what it is. This is what addiction will do to you.
Favorite part of the match right here. The Taker went over him and he said, "Don't you ever do this again. What the hell is wrong with you? Get back, get cleaned up, and don't ever come near a ring again." That's exactly what Taker said to him, man. But hey, boss, we're good, boss. The match is over. The match is over. All right, let's get back to the list. Anything else? I'm gonna go again. Brawl Out. I'm sure we're gonna talk about. What were y'all thoughts on Brawl Out? Ian, go ahead.
I think that Punk did the right thing. Punk exposed them. And I think that Punk in a way turned people back over to the Fed and screwed Dub at the same exact time. He's a double agent.
He's the mole.
He's a double agent.
Punk was the mole. Okay.
I thought the bro afterwards. I mean, he went out there that media scrum. I've hated all of AEW's media scrums. None of them have made any type of sense. They're all like even what MJF did last week. Terrible.
Yeah, where he's trolling him with the towel around his neck, right?
Like him doing that. I'm like, you're very unprofessional. But once again, you're doing all this in front of your boss, so he doesn't care.
Me and you have the same exact take. Yep, me and you have the same exact take.
And your boss doesn't stop you. Your boss doesn't say anything.
Ain't saying a word.
And then the executive vice president of the company, you all get into a fight.
You're right.
Who is what came up to me as is a bunch of kids fighting. I want the kids. Oh, all the kids are fighting back. When are the kids gonna step in? Here comes H Steel. You have grown up? No, you want to get into the fight.
You're gonna fight too.
Yeah, you're gonna fight too. So I think that it literally AEW has not recovered from that moment. They have not. They haven't recovered.
Your thoughts?
So whose side you? So here's the thing, and I said the same thing back then. I side with Punk because I don't think Punk was wrong. I ride with Punk. I'm gonna take my fist up and I side with Punk, but
you gotta do one of these.
I 100% agree. Punk's grievances, I wish he would have handled it another way.
Yes.
I wish he would have done it just because no matter what, like we talked about that day, right? As an employee, I get what he did because it makes sense. But when you sit on the other side of the table and you're the administrator who is just like, actually, there was a million other ways we could have done this that would have been beneficial for everybody. And so in this case, everyone was wrong. And what I hate is that the narrative has become Punk was wrong. The guys TK chose were right because he chose them. It wasn't him choosing his long-term investment over his short-term gain.
But his long-term investment was going to screw him anyway.
I think the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks will be. I think the Bucks. If the rumors are true, right? So rumors. I wonder where these rumors started. I wonder where.
We don't have that much time for you to do that.
Basically, the Bucks started freaking. That the Bucks were going to think about leaving AEW. That Kenny Omega's thinking about leaving AEW. That their contract's not going to. It's up in November, but it's frozen until November. How come no one's talked about their EVP contracts? Are they all done being EVPs now? Are they all done being EVPs, or are they still contracted talent?
We won't find out until they tell Papa Dave. So
thank you. Yeah. That's my point. My point is all this EVP talk was heavy when everybody was getting a job. Their cousins was getting jobs. Their mamas was getting jobs. And now, a year later, were the Bucks really the right camp to go with Tony? Sure, because they're the more but I think it's a miss. I think the only thing that Punk did wrong was Punk should have done it in front. Beyond that, I think the Bucks are wrong. I think the Bucks are wrong because the Bucks were the EVPs in the situation. The Bucks should have been the ones who should have. The Bucks should have gotten fired, and this situation would be different.
But you're the mistake in making that all of them are kids. No one's running this show.
But this is like when Daniel Bryan choked the dude with the tie. Even if you fired them for a week, just for the sake of doing it. Tony should have done something because since then, Tony's never looked like when Nick Khan said it. Tony's never looked like such a kid. He's never looked like such a kid that when he sat next to Punk and sat there drinking his water nervously when Punk was lambasting the company, or like last week when he sat next to MJF and MJF is playing heel, he's playing bad guy, and he just sits there drinking his coffee, smiling, being happy to be in the room next to the celebrities.
This goes back to my same point. TK does things to appease the boys, not the fans.
I can see that.
I don't know because TK books for himself. So take it.
Now hold on.
He's a fan.
Hold on, Vern. You said the Bucks and you said the Elite should have been fired. As EVPs, they should have been fired. So
they should have been fired as EVPs.
I just want to ask you this question. Okay, should have been fired as EVPs. Should they still have been talent?
Again, I think they should have, even if just for a week, for the statement it made. I think that the fact that Tony Khan never did anything except dodge questions, claim that there was an investigation being done, I think that hurt his leadership. And since then, as a leader,
for sure.
Tony Khan is. Listen, he was feckless before. He was feckless before, but now Tony Khan needs to quit while he's ahead because he'll never be the leader he think he'll be. He'll never reach that potential because he showed himself to be powerless, a spineless jellyfish.
So let me ask you this. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, Elite's out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say they should have been fired for a week, but yes, go ahead.
Hold on. Let's say
week.
TK, let's say TK took you up on that and said, forget a week. I don't need them anymore. He loses the three staples of the company, the reason why his company is what it is. Okay, stop. Let me finish.
Fine.
Let me finish. He keeps. So let's say he's with you. He sides with Punk, business wise. He sides with Punk, right? Punk is hurt now. Punk is no longer his champion. Punk is on the shelf, right? What is he now going to do? He just lost three of his top guys, and his champion that he just crowned again is hurt again. What is TK to do now?
Exactly what happened right now. We'd have MJF with the belt. Nothing changes. Everything would stay the same.
I don't
what
believe
do
so.
the Bucks have to do? What major storyline are the Bucks involved in that you all are sitting on the edge of your seat waiting on to find a resolution to?
I'm not sitting at the edge of my seat.
Okay.
But the thing is, if you take away the Elite from all Elite wrestling, yes, it does.
Make a difference.
Yes, it does. They are the face of that company, Vern. That is
so
their company.
Cody. So was Cody, and he's gone. And guess what? It didn't make a difference.
No, there's a difference with Cody just leaving and this happening and you firing them. There's a huge difference. Difference.
Let me ask a question. Out of curiosity, Vernon. Now, the point that's made, technically at All Out, Punk was injured. So Punk actually dropped the towel that same night. If you fire the Bucks, fire Omega, whatever, how do you book the next 6 weeks then with Punk being injured?
You do this.
What do you do?
Punk being injured, comes out, cuts promos, talks. What else?
You do another interim champion.
What did Austin do? What did Austin do when he got hurt?
He's not Austin.
I'm not
comparing
TK's not
them.
Smart enough to cut those promos.
I'm not saying anyone is like that. What I'm saying is your guys are making it sound like it's not possible. It is possible.
Not for AEW.
Given this situation, I don't think it's possible in the situation, but to say it's impossible, no. It's just, again, you could book it. You could book it. Would it work under TK? No.
It would be the most awful television, worse than what they're doing right now. It would be the most awful television. The fans would be like, why? Why'd you get rid of the three I'd like? Attendance would drop. Mm-hmm. You don't think fans go to see the Bucks and Kenny? No matter where they are on the card, match 1 or match 6?
Did it affect business when the Bucks weren't on the shows?
Yes. They started doing Ring of Honor. Did you forget that?
No, because Tony Khan was trying to shop that show around. You're conflating a lot of stuff. You're conflating that with when the Bucks, again, you're telling me the Bucks being off the TV made that big of a difference to AEW's bottom line?
I don't know those numbers, so I can't say yes or no.
I guess bottom line in terms of like the stories, in terms of the product that we watched on television. You could go back to when the Bucks weren't there.
Yes.
You were like, wow.
Yes.
Something's just missing.
Go ahead, Ian.
No, because it was, remember, TK didn't openly call it out that they were not. He called out eventually they were not there, but there's a huge gap in their program. The only consistent about AEW has been the Bucks and Omega. You take them out. What we're back to? Week 1, this person. Week 3, this person. It becomes more. What happens that it becomes evidently inconsistent. That's not good booking. It exposes the bad booking. And I think from the numbers, I think that AEW did fine with the Bucks and Omega not there. I think from the numbers, they did okay. But it doesn't change the fact that you didn't address this. These are your main stars. This is your Hogan. This is your NWO. This is your group. You take them out in peak 97. Who are you going to use? Oh, the Horseman? Steve Mongo McMichael? Jared?
Stop it.
Everybody loves Mongo.
Stop it.
I love Mongo. I love Mongo.
You're going to... In context, you're gonna. We don't have time for this. Go ahead, Franny.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, we don't have time for this. But the fact that you're gonna try to somehow deny Mongol in context, you're.
I'm not.
You weren't a fan.
You weren't a fan.
You weren't a fan.
I love Mongo.
So Vern, talk to me about
Inoki dying was one of the big things that happened last year. Rest in peace to the God. You
talked about your 4 pillars, right?
Four pillars and Tony Inoki on that list.
Okay, I was going to talk about Logan Paul, Roman Reigns. How surprising that match was. Quick take, Vern.
Quick take, Logan Paul, Rookie of the Year, should have won it.
Yeah.
Over Braun Breaker. Braun, I love you, but Logan, you know what? Matter of fact, I can't say it. No, actually, no, you know what? Braun Breaker would be rookie number 1. And actually,
Logan's a close too.
No, was Braun rookie last year or was that year before?
No, this year. NXT
okay, so
2.0.
Then I retract. Let me not be crazy. Braun is number 1. Logan Paul's your number 2.
Logan Paul definitely impressed me. I remember we talked about it after the match with Miz. I was like, because people were trying to compare him to how long Dominic's been in the ring, and Dominic's nowhere even close.
Logan Paul has turned himself into an attraction without even trying.
It's because of his draw. It's because of his draw. I remember we calculated the amount of subscribers and followers he has on social media. He has a different kind of reach. And when we watched the Rumble and he did that spot, the spot that made no sense with Ricochet, we immediately went, it's to go viral. It's just to get a viral hit. So that's what Logan Paul's there for. His match, I can't wait for his match with Seth Rollins. That's the one thing I can't wait for come Mania. His match with Seth Rollins again. I was there in Boston when they did the face-to-face. The entire crowd, they say piped in noise in the E. Not in Boston. Everybody in the crowd, myself included, the entire crowd for about a minute and a half before Logan said something and the crowd started getting on Logan because Miz tried his. When this hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Crowd kept going. Logan said something. Logan had the heat. Then they started getting on Logan. Then they were able to cut the promo. So I can't wait for that match to happen. Ian, you got anything on this one? Logan and Roman?
No. I Logan Roman, great match. I mean, literally amazing match. And Logan being someone who hasn't had many matches, the argument about him being better than Dominic in the ring, I mean, Logan's charisma, he has a different allure to him. He reminds me of Bad Bunny in a way. He
celebrity wrestler.
He's a good celebrity wrestler, and that's very rare. You can't name good celebrity wrestlers. And he's someone who loves it.
Blown up in 10 minutes. I love it.
Less than 10 minutes.
He was sucking wind, bro.
Walking to the ring.
but great match. I hope that Logan goes over at Mania over Rollins. I mean, I would hope.
I doubt it.
He hasn't won a match yet. I mean, he beat the Miz. He beat the Miz, but
he did, yeah.
But he hasn't won a big incredible match,
absolutely.
But yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about Nick Aldis. Yeah, we were talking about Nick Aldis leaving NWA, Montreal Screwjob. I think all this is done, in all honesty, as far as wrestling in America.
He screwed.
I just want to say that real quick. Yeah,
no, not he screwed himself. I mean, because the Fed won't sign him because he's too. Bender done that. AEW won't sign him. NWA was his be-all.
What's he got to bring? What's he got to give?
Offer. I know everyone says he looks good in a suit, etc., but I already got Cody.
So does Cody.
Yeah, I got Cody at home. Cody at home. I don't need Nick.
Yeah, right. I don't need to get fast food Cody. Right.
And all this has never been like he's an okay talker. He reminds me of a Wish Nick Bockwinkel.
Wow.
I'd give that.
Wow.
His idea of trying to have these serious promos where he talks to you very seriously, very matter-of-factly, and he somehow tears you apart and gets you riled up. Yeah.
But he's not that. But in that same breath, he literally ruined NWA.
Yes.
In the same breath. Him leaving completely
because
destroyed.
I feel like as much as he needed NWA needed him.
He was, he was the last credibility that NWA had.
I mean, their champ now is Tyrus.
Wow, you're gonna really hate on the Fixers losing the belts?
Shield 10 years in December. Scotty Tuhati leaves Twitter after he says he doesn't want to work with women at his day and age. He doesn't want to work with women. Then this is when the big boss man was there. I love that. Then Wildcat Chris Hamerick said that wild stuff in Fenton, Rhode Island. He called him a 2-bit or something like that, and then used the F word that is not the F word, but the other F word.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying? Right. At GCW. So, yeah. Then we had Marina Shafir. You know me, you don't know me.
You don't know me!
talk about politics with the 4 horsewomen, why that match never happened. And then Bailey rebutted and was like, politics, what are you talking about? And then I made the argument of those girls being prominent stars on the roster, while the only star was Ronda Rousey, and then you had Shayna Baszler and Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir were never ready.
Yeah, still not ready.
Wait,
Regal. Go ahead.
Question. What did you call Chris Hamrick?
Wildcat.
I thought it was isn't it Confederate currency?
I thought it was Wildcat.
Was it Confederate currency, Chris Hamrick in ECW?
Because
you said I'm
it's Wildcat Chris Harris. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Chris Harris.
Sorry.
Like, what are you talking about? Wildcat. That's Chris Harris. You're talking about Braden Walker.
Braden Walker.
That legend.
Go.
Jesus
Let's go.
Braden Walker.
Yes,
and the promo he cut at the indie show afterwards, where he well, we won't get into that, but
yes, please. Regal's AEW deal was done here, right? At this point in December.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the
he
first
just
time
does
rumors.
the
That's when
turn.
the rumors was coming around that that he was going to leave. That his
Because
deal
this
was
is
up
around the same time with MJF and Ricky Starks, and they were having a promo battle, and you were like, "Man, what are they supposed to do after this?" And I was like, "Vern, this is it right here." And then that's it.
That was the day. Yeah, you told me, said, Vern, this is
I was like, Vern, this is it. He was like, why did they blow the load on? I was like, because this is it.
Yep. And that's you convinced me. AEW only gives you 2 to 3 week stories. I'm fine with that now.
That's all they can do.
If you want longer stories, go watch Real Wrestling.
I do want to remind you that you did call Ricky Stark's next big feud to be Chris Jericho.
100%. That night after the promo, I said, watch. Jericho saw this and went, ooh,
yeah.
I called dibs.
You were like, who's the hottest babyface right now? I was like, I guess Ricky Starks. You're like, there you go. And the very next week, you were right on point with that.
MJF.
I'm gonna wrap up the entire rest of the year because we're in December.
Also, that's it.
Mandy Rose, the whole saga of Mandy Rose towards the end of the year, dropping the belt because she showed a little more than she was supposed to on her fan site.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah, Velveteen Dream. We talked about his August arrest, the Miranda rights.
Yeah.
We talked about DeMar Hamlin on here too, and we're now starting to come into January of 2023. But we talked about DeMar Hamlin because that was a very serious moment in sports, period. And that's the comparison to Owen. The people that made the comparison to Owen was what blew my mind there. I'm still not saying his name. Byrak got his trademark name back. I'm not saying his name.
Ryan, I forgot what his
Skip
Ryan.
Sheffield. I'll call him Skip Sheffield. Sure. Because when I said his name, all of a sudden that happened. So his
trademark was good. Yo, can I tell you? He said his name, and I said, "Bro, don't say his name." He was like, "Why?" I was like, "I'm telling you, you say his name, he finds out."
And I kept
he
saying,
said, "What do you mean?"
It was like Bloody Mary.
I said, "Watch." I said, "Yo." I said, he's either going to tweet at us or he's going to show up on the internet. I said, I think
it was the very next day.
The very next day,
he next morning. Twitter. I was like,
the next morning, he made wrestling headlines. I said, you see, I blame you.
It's my
because
fault.
You daggone summoned him from the depths when you shouldn't have said his name, and he'd have been fine where he was.
Oh, that's a fact. Okay, so then, unfortunately, Jay Briscoe passes away. Then in the same breath, all these talks about the WWE going on sale. That was January, Vern. I just want to point that out.
When Kermit from the basement lost all credibility.
Right. Then we had the Rumble. We talked about the Rumble in depth. We talked about how much we love the Rumble. And then we had our own WrestleMania, the Colossal Tussle, where we talked in depth about the Bloodline. And then the very last episode we did, which was 2 weeks ago, we talked about Mercedes Moné. We talked about Jay White, which we talked to you about earlier, Ian. Was it Mox equals ratings? I don't remember that conversation now. I think you brought it up.
No, that was Mox equals ratings was I think it was just us going back and forth about Moxley and about the fact that he's become like their when in doubt,
break glass, yeah, Moxley.
Break glass, bring out Moxley. And then every week Moxley going slicey.
Bleeding.
He didn't do it tonight though.
He worked tonight, he didn't bleed, huh?
Did he
must forgot his blade?
Yeah, but not his heel.
Oh, that's right.
And
so what is? Tell me out here. What's MON? MON reactions? What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the WON. I forgot MON. It's WON.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
The awards.
Okay,
the awards that Ian voted for.
Yeah, the Wrestling Observer. So let's start back. Thank you, Vern, that you're there. Let's start back at December 8th, and we'll wrap this up after this. I'm just gonna go through Shield being here 10 years. That's crazy to even think of that they were 10 years deep. Scotty Twatty leaving Twitter, the Hamrick deal.
You know what? I think all that stuff right there is a great example of the snapshot of like how wrestling Twitter will make something that happens on an indie show seem like it's changing the world.
Yes.
And in retrospect, you go, yeah, no one cares about that. That was literally
cancel culture.
Day.
Yeah, cancel culture. It just so happened to happen around the time that we needed to film this podcast. So that's why we brought it up.
Yeah.
It was like fresh news, hot off the grill.
Yeah.
After that,
Chris Hamrick thing was all over the place.
Yeah. Nobody cares now.
How crazy. Remember how GCW was? How we haven't talked about GCW being this. Remember that was a fed. It was like the upstart indie fed that everyone wanted to go to a GCW show.
Right.
When's the last time we
talked about on that same night? We talked about on that same night that Hamrick said that stuff. Ali Catch pulls a knife on a guy mid-match.
Oh,
yeah, why not?
And then he breaks the hand away. You forgot about that. Then he breaks the hand away, and then they wrestle.
Yep, they just started going to spots afterwards.
The same night where this 6'5" giant of a woman works this small guy, and they have the craziest hardcore match in the world. But what Chris Hamrick said was too much. I'm not defending the man.
Yeah, Sawyer Rex.
Sawyer Rex
calls him midget in a death match.
I'm not trying to say justify what Chris Hamrick said was fine. What he said was 100% wrong. But on the same card, you saw those things. It's like you said that night, that's what crossed the line for them. That was too much. Like that was Chris. Nope. Alley Catch, pull a knife all you want. We know it's wrestling. We know it's a work. Don't worry about it. You can pull a knife on him. Next time, bring a gun and actually shoot the thing. Why not? But
yeah, why not?
Hamrick, don't say what you said. That's where we draw the line. And granted, because it's ran by Effie, and they're very
and Brett Lauderdale
inclusive.
And the rest of the
very
crew.
inclusive, so they're not gonna allow that stuff to fly. Granted, I'm not trying to say they shouldn't, but it's just crazy that was what drew the line after everything else. Let's see. That was a lot of Twitter stuff that week. I see that with Shafir and all that too.
That was when Shafir did. That was when Shafir did that interview
with Renee. She was with Renee on the podcast.
Yeah, and she started trash talking. It was like, oh, the 4 horsewomen. That should have been a thing. And
Yeah,
then Bailey. Remember,
politics.
Bailey got at her, and Bailey was like, actually,
Right.
if you want to keep it real, like, ain't nobody was trying to get hurt working a bunch of green girls in the ring.
You guys weren't ready, and we were all stars. No, we're cool.
As Bobby Fish said, where's the lie?
Yeah, where's the lie? Let me go to you, Ian. We got. Let's see. I'm just gonna move along. The Regal deal with AEW, MJF, Ricky Starks promo battle, Mandy Rose
won?
being released.
Ian, who won? MJF, Ricky Starks. Who won?
The promo battle. MJF won the promo battle.
Really? You don't think?
Because once again, where's Ricky Starks right now?
Working with El Ocho.
Not anymore.
Not now. He's with
That's done. Ricky Starks went over at the pay-per-view.
Oh,
Pay-per-view Pay-per-view win over the Ocho.
Jericho put him over. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
So technically, I think when you have a promo like that, it's a payoff. The payoff was we knew that MJF was working with I can't remember who his next promo was. We knew Ricky was going to lose.
I think it wound up being Danielson, and they just ran that program for that long, if I'm
not
mistaken.
Yeah, so we knew he was going to lose. So you cut a great promo. Okay, you're going to lose anyway. It didn't make any sense.
Can we talk about those two real quick? MJF, world champion, still. Ricky Starks just finished his feud with El Ocho. Do you see? I'm just throwing this to the wall. Do you see Ricky Starks now working Powerhouse Hobbs for the TNT title? And Ricky Starks is the guy to dethrone Powerhouse Hobbs.
You say
it's awful.
Dethrone? He just won the damn thing.
It doesn't matter.
Well, let me say this.
So did Wardlow, Vern.
Yeah, technically.
First of all, Wardlow is not anyone to bring up a conversation anymore. Wardlow is just the whooping boy now.
They say to fall off. Wardlow gone.
Wardlow got that Brian that Brian Lawler treatment where he came in on top and then remember that
light heavyweight. I'm watching that stuff.
Remember when
now he's too cool. He's about to be too cool.
Remember
right
when
now.
Too Cool was a secret tag team for DX against the Radicals? Remember that night when the Radicals and Too Cool was the loudest pop Too Cool ever
I'm about
got.
to say I wasn't there. I'm not at Too Cool yet. They just joined. They're wearing this matching tights right now.
Okay,
but they haven't changed into the hip hop gear.
That's the loudest pop they ever got after that night. And when you watch the match, the crowd was roaring with him. Nothing ever happened.
Yeah,
nothing.
So,
ever
well, with Ricky Starks, should Ricky be the one to dethrone Hobbs? No. It shouldn't be him. Because firstly, you made a point that AEW books in 3 weeks. That story of Ricky Starks and Hobbs goes back. I don't even remember how long. That's when Team Taz was together. And if I remember, then Hobbs beat Starks.
Bob beat Stark on a squash
for no reason.
I think it was a Forbidden Door.
Yep.
I think it was Forbidden Door.
Yup. And he hit him with that clothesline when he broke his neck. Yeah.
But then Ricky got his win back on Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He did. But exactly. So technically, in that case,
AEW.
But in that case, it stops there. So Ricky starts winning the TNT title over Hobbs. Why? Who's going to win? Because this Friday, if you don't know on Rampage, his first opponent will be Phoenix.
Who?
The reason why? Phoenix.
Hobbs and Phoenix?
Oh, Ray Phoenix?
Ray Phoenix.
Oh, the Phoenix.
Oh, and also his new manager. I know that that you didn't see it, but QT Marshall.
QTPV.
That thing was it was a mess. It just wasn't.
It was
good.
TMZ. It was fake TMZ.
It was
what they tried to do.
It was Gen TV, just better. It was like, but the point I'm making is that Ricky Starks is not gonna dethrone Hobbs. Why would he?
Okay.
I'll see him.
This is why I love things are recorded, because when it happens, I'm gonna come back and I'll be like, Vern, send this to Ian ASAP, because I said the same thing about Mickie James when we was watching Impact. I said, there's no way Mickie wins this match against Jordynne Grace. She's gonna lose, and they're gonna pass the torch on like a good worker. And now, Hardcore Country is our champion.
Mickey Hogan is riding high. Nikki Belair says, that's not going to work for me, sister. I'm going to beat you at the pay-per-view with a half suplex. No matter what, you're just going to take the loss.
Okay.
I beat Masha. I beat our Hogan Grace. And I beat our Warrior. Both pay-per-views back to back.
Yeah.
What's next? Giselle, whatever.
Giselle Shaw. She's going to beat Giselle Shaw for what? Just because she can. Okay. What if she drops a Giselle Shaw? What if this was all just done? What if it was just done to build up Don West girl, Giselle Shaw?
Not Don West.
I mean, not Don West. Rest in peace to the God.
Scott
D'Amore's girl. What if it was just build up Scott D'Amore's boo?
Oh, who knows? Who knows? All right, let me move forward,
please.
Anybody want to touch on? Let me say that differently. Anybody want to speak about Mandy Rose? Because I was going to say touch on Mandy Rose.
Made $1 million, and
she ever comes back? Real quick, she ever comes back, guys? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Mandy comes back in some phase.
Yeah.
When she comes back,
if she doesn't come back, Tony will bring her in.
You think Tony? Okay.
I don't think she'll go.
I think she'd survive there. I don't think she'd survive.
I think Tony would throw an amount of money that would have her go, okay.
If it's more than what she's making, showing what she's showing now, sure, okay. But her actually doing matches when she is a WWE wrestler, she's not an indie girl. She was a tough enough girl who was trained under the system, performance center, main roster, back down, developmental, and ran roughshod in developmental. So I don't see her being successful at AEW.
How can she? Being trained by Mass and Rain. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, sure. Every Wednesday before the show starts.
Yeah. 5 minutes for the match.
Training, right? Yeah, that's rough. So yeah, you guys do think she'll eventually come back to wrestling. More than likely it'll be the E, maybe a quick shot. Who knows? You never know. With wrestling, it's never say never anyway.
You never know.
Anybody want to say? We said our piece on Jay Briscoe. Vern, Ian, do you want to say anything about Jay?
I enjoy Jay Briscoe's level. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. I see your eyes right now. Don't do that. I enjoy Jay Briscoe's level of work. Yeah. I know we started the episode talking about the top 10 tag teams
in depth.
We didn't start the episode. We did. That was an episode.
Oh yeah.
No, that was before. That was before. That was in the green room. That was in the green room.
Yeah. So like, Briscoe Brothers level work amazing. What I don't like, however, is how they're treating Mark Briscoe afterwards. That part I do not agree with.
This guy, Vernon.
Because you're doing it because he died.
Thank you.
It reminds me of Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Same exact thing. I'm capitalizing on the death now.
Yes.
It's in bad taste. And once again, done incorrectly because Tiki doesn't know how to do it. So Jay Briscoe may rest in peace. I mean, a death is always a difficult thing and stuff. Definitely. What happened at the Jay Briscoe tribute show that was not even recorded live. It was recorded as it was taped. And like that was like it's no respect towards him because TK, once again, TNT will not allow you to put Jay Briscoe on a live show at all. Sorry.
Until he passed, and now you're putting his brother on there.
It's
never been a
bad taste.
Yep. I just want to point something out. Mark Briscoe is going to work Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor television title. That happened on Ring of Honor television. If you guys haven't watched
Samoa
yet.
Joe.
So
shout out to Samoa Joe.
The true king of television. The true king of television.
King of cable. Shout out to Samoa Joe.
All right, let's keep it pushing. We'll save the DeMar Hamlin thing. We passed that. WWE sale rumors. Wow, that really took off, huh? That was in January.
I'm gonna say this: if they don't get sold within, I think, the next few months, they're not gonna get sold. Period. If they don't sell now,
can I tell you something? They're not going to get sold, period.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get sold, period. Yeah.
Let's not even wait.
Yeah, they're not going to get sold, period.
They're not getting sold.
Because my stock's already gone down. So with the
stock interest is gone now.
That billion, that's like, from what I was reading, that $1 billion's already been lost in like terms of like what they could have potentially earned with the stock price, the way it's fallen. So already it's quote unquote losing equity in that sense. So, all right, equity, is that the word or value? I guess value, not equity, but value in that sense.
Value.
You know, like I don't think it's gonna sell. I think Vince aimed too high for the sun on this one.
Right. I don't. What do you think, Ian? You think there's gonna be any sale?
I think I know that the stock right now is not where it should be, but also think about after Mania. Might go up.
True.
And I think he might hit where if the stock goes to where it needs to be, that might be the perfect time. Think about
so you think it's one last Vince payday and he's out of here?
Yeah. Why would not?
Someone's going to give him the $9 billion. The $9 billion that Dave reported. That Dave just added up. That Dave just added up the numbers and came up with that because Dave's a journalist, right? He just added up numbers. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes.
Dave reported that.
Dave is never wrong, so it's okay.
I just wrote that down. One more Vince payday because I want to bring that up next week because I think that's the WrestleMania next show. It'll be the WrestleMania preview. So we'll pretty much have the card laid out because our next show
we'll be able to say, remember that time that Ian
on the 30th
he was wrong?
Yeah. Royal Rumble 23. Did everybody agree that was a great show? Great ending? Did anybody have any
adrenaline in my soul?
Loved it.
Something Cody Rhodes.
Sami
Zayn finish. Great stuff, right? Move on from there.
Except the part where he tackled was he tackled Jimmy? No, he tackled Jay, and then Jay just disappeared.
No, that wasn't the Rumble, was it?
Oh, that was the Rumble?
That was Elimination Chamber.
Oh, that was
Elimination Chamber. Next pay-per-view.
Yeah,
Jay did
we're at the end.
Jay just disappeared. Yeah. We just like, nope, I'm not wrestling anymore. I'm out of here. Then we talked about the Bloodline story. Ian, let me get your take on the Bloodline.
That was Sammy turning. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Sammy turning. Bloodline story as a whole, best storyline that I've seen WWE do. I can't think of a storyline better than this in the past decade. I can't think of anyone that comes to mind. I know you and Vernon can't think of it either. He has no any content the past 10 years.
That's why he's up there in the clouds. That's why I was looking.
I was like, I could think of stories, but I was like, they don't fit the timeline. Yeah, I get last 10 years.
10 years? No, I mean, like I said, the last thing, I think we said the same thing, Vernon. The only thing I could have thought of was CM Punk with his whole taking the belt away, but it's not the same. It doesn't come close.
I only saw the DVD release of that, so I don't know what.
Yeah, it doesn't come close. Trust me, I watched it live. It doesn't come close. Just the idea of Punk leaving and taking the belt with him was the allure. This was a story within the WWE that they controlled the story. Nothing compares, in all honesty.
And the thing about it is that it never lost steam. I think the great thing about it is that we think about Jey Uso. Jey Uso became a bona fide star during the pandemic.
Yep.
During the Thunderdome era, he became a bona fide star.
Main event Jay became a nickname you can't deny.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And like now he's like you put any of those Usos in a main event. Even look what happened now, Solo Sikoa.
Solo was main event.
on Monday. That is a storyline done correctly when booked correctly by the right person.
He's talking about my guy, Papa H. Papa
H. I'm not talking about other people who are out of touch of wrestling.
But it works. Then, all right, so the last thing, Monday in IWGP, she won the women's title. And then the Observer knew. Listen, Vern, you know my take on the Observer.
Can I get my take on that quickly?
Please, because my blind reaction was not good. I was ready to throw everything around.
Well, I was the one who actually told Vern about because I saw it first, and I was pretty irate about it. I'm like, Moxie's number one on all this? How? I'm like, AEW is the best show? How?
I'm about to throw my trash. My trash is balled up. I'm about to just throw it at the screen right now. You reminded me of that.
And like the best match, I'm like, it was so. And what had me pissed, and also I know we didn't mention this, but shout out to Gunther, shout out to Sheamus.
That's right. We didn't talk about that on there. Yeah, that's match of the year.
Because what match of the year? That wasn't even on the list. You put FTR in the dog collar match. Oh, I know why. Because Jay Briscoe died. Whoops. Sorry. That's exactly why it was number one. Oh, gotta mention who that is here. You.
And so let me ask you that as we close out. What is I'm gonna agree with Ian. I'm gonna say Gunther Sheamus was more than likely the match of the entire year. Now, Vern, you watch a lot of wrestling.
That's why I was just thinking.
I'm putting you on a 10. I'm putting you on a spot, and we got to be done in 10 minutes because we're on the 3-hour mark.
You know what? No,
if you had to think about it, I think it was hands down the best match of the year, and I'll tell you why. Why you think, Vern? And I'll talk to you, Ian. They made it look like a legitimate fight, as opposed to two guys having an athletic contest. It was two meaty men slapping meat to the point where Sheamus has the best body for wrestling, and I'm not talking about in shape, but the fact that he can bruise and get color all over his body, it makes Gunther without bleeding look more devastating with everything he does. But Sheamus brings the heat just as much, brings the pain just as much as Gunther does. So watching these two knock heads with each other like two rams in the wild was an amazing thing to watch. And they started off the show, am I correct?
Middle of the show.
It was the middle of the show. Okay. I think the 6-man they had prior started the show.
Yeah, Extreme Rules.
And even that pay-per-view match was amazing. Anytime Sheamus and Gunther get together, I'm all for it. Take my money. Take my money. You're right. Now I gave you about a minute and a half, Vern. Is there anything?
You know, I'm gonna lean towards Cody and the Hell in a Cell. Okay. I still go back to that moment that Cody took off the
jacket,
and the entire crowd went,
"Oh, wow, yeah."
And as Cody
heard about it,
Cody started working, and you saw Steph start digging the candlestick into it, you could
and it got a little purple.
The people start to boo. Yeah. The people start getting into it, and by the end of that match, they wanted to carry Cody out on their shoulders as the newest, as the mayor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on Lexus Rest,
I love the. Did we get last year? Did my mind making mistakes? But did we get Drew McIntyre Gunther last year at a PLE? No,
I don't think so.
It was just.
I think they're gonna work Mania the way they're.
Will that be the first? Will that be their first time meeting?
Yes.
Really?
So. Wow. Because they, as soon as Gunther came and Triple H took over, they kind of paired him with the Brutes. They were doing their thing, but the big pairing was Brutes and them, Brutes and Imperium. So I don't. They might have. I mean, I can Google it. That's easy.
You know who else had a match I didn't hate that for whatever reason pops in my brain? Remember Gunther? What's his face? Gunther Ricochet on SmackDown.
I want to cut you off.
They had
it looks like they worked at Madison Square Garden.
That doesn't count.
Oh, but that doesn't count. It wasn't televised. Yeah, it
wasn't not televised. You said pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if this is what was March.
Yeah, that was the MLG.
No,
that
this
was
is in Canada. They worked in Canada.
Oh, okay. That was I think that was the ladder match. The big MSG ladder match they did.
Yeah. Okay.
So I might say that because that one match that's another match I could think of that match had me in, man. They had me believe in Gunther and Ricochet.
Wait, huh? What? Huh? What? Huh?
Gunther Ricochet on SmackDown. That was the best match. That was the match of the year, though.
It's what in terms of one of the better matches of last year, like match that stuck out to me. Like that's one of those matches that just really. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the best match of the year, but one of the matches that really stuck out to me. That was one of those matches. I'm like, I could go back and put that match on right now before I go to bed and like still be into that match. That was a hell of a match.
Well, because Ricochet, you know, Ricochet's a bump. He's a bump god. He can.
But Gunther knew how to make Ricochet work a style of match and make Ricochet look like a fiery underneath babyface who got at the end just got overpowered by a monster.
Right. Gunther gets it, and I love the fact that he's getting the push he's getting here.
He deserves.
Yeah, he deserves it. I mean, dude shedded all that weight. Yep, we're about to get the waving.
Where we gotta
we gotta say thank you to Ian in a second. But I just want to say this last closing
thing.
Yeah,
you got the closing comment, man. Please go ahead. You close.
So go ahead, Ian.
I mean, also we didn't mention Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. That last match.
We did skip through SummerSlam. I did have SummerSlam on there, but yes,
the eyes of seeing Brock take that forklift and literally lift the ring, and Roman. That's the fact that seeing Roman fall back like that. Like the match itself wasn't like a spectacle, no, but catching your eye and remembering a moment in time.
Of course, you literally just described the spectacle.
Let me finish my.
Hold on. First of all, before you continue, Ian, the spectacle was Roman catching that microphone. That was the spectacle.
That too.
But go on, Ian. Nice. Go ahead.
But I will say this. I mean, Gunther. I mean, jeez, man. Go back to that same tweet that Keith Lee said about Gunther. If they are hearing is true about Gunther, ooh, poor Gunther. Long term, well, okay.
Yeah,
but
it's actually poor you, for yourself, Keith Lee.
Also, we didn't mention McIntyre and Reigns at Clash of the Castle, which also was
another one, which was the debut of Solo on the main roster.
I think Gunther and Sheamus at the match itself, and the point that you made, you can see the pain that they were going through the entire match. Yeah. It was like a Iron Man match, but not an Iron Man match. Like,
the physical toil was evident.
Physical toil was, and like that's wrestling. That's wrestling as a whole.
That is, but what they had was a professional wrestling match. Correct. Yep.
Yes, and that's my take. I mean, Gunther and Sheamus has to be match of the year. Has to be.
And I agree with you, Vern, doing Seth and Cody, because that's another one where that's professional wrestling. You got a guy with a legitimate injury, not, it can't get any worse than it is. And the man went out there and performed for the people as an underneath babyface. And man, Cody was on a roll and that stopped him. And here he is now trying to dethrone the tribal chief, the head of the table.
Which he will at Mania because he has to.
Okay. All right. I just want to thank you, Ian.
Yeah, man. Thank you, bro,
for coming through. I know we went a little long, but hey, y'all went like 45 minutes in the beginning, just bickering, and I loved every minute of it. So technically, we went like 2:15 on topic. So, again, thank you, Ian. Appreciate you for coming on.
Thank y'all so much, man.
This was great. We got to do it another time.
We got to have you back on, man. For real, we got to have
you back
on.
Let me know. I got a lot more to say, and
perfect.
So next time I'll have actually watch actual wrestling from the time that he missed.
Bleep him right there. 257.
I gotta duck him.
257:08 or 07.
I got it. No worries.
Wow.
You broke kayfabe. You got your duck sound.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Duck, Ian. We
get it. I did it the first time we recorded. I did it all the time. It's all good.
You get a duck, so you get a little quack for a second. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And we went the whole show with that too, and we did it. So don't worry about it. No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal. You did a great job, Ian. Thank you for coming on. Stay in here because I have to let them record. So your audio's got to record on there. So I'm just gonna take you down real quick. But again, thank you, Ian. Appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate you, brother.
Great show tonight.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Did your thing.
Vern.
Yo.
Weigh that pencil, brother.
Come on, man. Was that a guess? Is that a guess? My homie.
Thank you, bro. That was definitely a video.
I knew he would come through, and I knew he would have so much. And that's like, we didn't even scratch the surface.
Right.
That kid just has a wealth of knowledge, dude. He got a wealth of knowledge.
If we do a year in review, man, I realize next year we do this, we need 2 parts because this is gonna. It can easily have been 6 hours with both of us. We could have easily went 6 hours for the 3 of us. Okay, man, this show was fire. I absolutely loved every moment of it.
Absolutes.
Vern, wave that pencil one more time.
Yeah,
I gotta
get
the
time.
music
Let's
playing.
Wave the pencil. Get that music playing.
I'm getting my Terry on. I don't know if you see it. I said Terry. I'm not calling them.
I understand. So you mean the main event's on, and wait, man, we got to time the minute. Got to get those quarters. Got to get those minutes. Oh, this is the hottest time. Go out there with your.
Who cares if Rob Van Dam's been getting bodied for 20 minutes?
Doesn't matter, brother.
Brother,
by the minute.
Checking minute by minute, brother.
Minute by minute, brother. Got to get those fans.
That's right. All right, so Vern, pencils waving, music's on. With all of that being said, what a W episode. This has been episode 28.
Big up to Ian. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Ian. Episode 28 of the Pay Window podcast on the Sandbox Podcast Network. For Vernon Somoza, I am Mr. Champion. I am me. He is him. Touch my tip. I almost forgot. Ow. Say peace, Vern.
Peace, Vern.
And we're out of here.